Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. We ain't got no time to waste. Let's go. You are now listening to Jason Anderson, and you are in the zone.
You're in the zone with Jason Anderson on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Over the bag and fair. That's into the left field corner. Salvi chucks for second. Taylor's throw. Renjifo's tag. Salvi safe. And there's another clutch hit. Adam Frazier delivers. Here comes Tolbert. The Royals have tied it into 7. An RBI double for Adam Frazier.
Second and goal. Hurts again the tie. Now Chase. Now taken off to the pylon. Got there. Jalen Hurts for the second time tonight.
There you go. Pasquantino attacks the first pitch and destroys into the bullpen. Hit high in the air, deep to left field. Ward's to the track. He's at the fence. It's gone. A go-ahead Bobby Blast.
You're in the zone on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Friday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Red Friday in the area. It is time to talk some NFL football, some college football. We will certainly talk some Royals as well. 2 games back with 22 games to play. A big 3-game set starting this weekend. Tonight against the Twins, Michael Waka and Pablo Lopez. The Chiefs in action tonight, getting their 2025 season underway in Brazil just after 7 o'clock. When that game gets underway, 5 o'clock is when our Central Bank pregame show starts right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Some high school football tonight as well, but then we'll have the Red and Gold postgame show with Jack Johnson as soon as the Chiefs and Chargers game is over, when we officially know the final score in the first game of the season for the Chiefs and the Chargers. Second game of the NFL season with the Eagles and Cowboys playing last night. We'll certainly talk about that. Lee Sterling and Todd Lebo will get you set later on this hour. Little more than a rooting interest, Paramount Sports' Lee Sterling. You'll hear from him about 10:45 or so. Matt Derrick will join us at 11 o'clock. Chiefs Digest, 41 is the Mike podcast. For the hour, we'll hang out with Matt, really get into a full breakdown of the Chiefs and the Chargers. We've spent all offseason breaking down every single part and iota and minutia about the Chiefs and their roster and their depth. It's time to talk some breakdown of an actual football game, and we look at the advantages and disadvantages the Chiefs may have against the Chargers tonight. Andy Reid gets ready for international game number 4. Jim Harbaugh prepares for international game number 1. The Chiefs, if you're wondering, if you're scoring at home, as they would say, if you're scoring at home, Andy Reid and the Chiefs are 3-0 in international games and 3-0 against the spread. They've covered the spread. Should point out the closest it got to covering the spread was against the Chargers. They were 5.5-point favorites. They won by 7 in that particular game. They were 1-point favorites against the Dolphins. They won by 7. And they were 3.5-point favorites against Detroit. They won by 35. We remember that day as Game 5 of Royals and Mets in the World Series. We remember that game as, I'm so anxious. Can we just get to tonight in Game 5? Royals are up 3-1. Got a chance to win the World Series, but in the meantime, let's see what the Chiefs do against the Lions in England.
I forgot about that. That is exactly what it was now. I was like, I don't even really remember the game.
I can't sleep on Saturday night. I don't care. At least I can't sleep. I can wake up and I'll watch the Chiefs and Lions, and it'll help me get through the day to get to tonight. But they have covered the spread in all of these international games. This one certainly being a little bit different with all of the travel and the things that are adding in to what this actual football game will mean when they kick off there in Brazil. 913-912-4810 is the text line to join us. 913-912-4810 text line to be a part of the show, part of the conversation. And, of course, the border war coming up tomorrow. It'll be 2:30. Mizzou favored by 6 in this one. 6.5, should point that out. 2:30 on ESPN2. And that'll be right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB as well. K-State and Army, 6 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPN. So we will break down Mizzou and KU as well and this matchup. Again, 913-912-4810. Let's start with last night. We'll get into the Royals, and certainly we'll have a lot of Chiefs breakdown. But last night, season gets underway. I went back and forth on the game. I did not place money on the line. I actually teased it along with the Chiefs and the Bills. So I use it, and I know that the pros are, teasers are, the Joes and the sucker bets, whatever. I actually teased the wrong way because I teased it down to 2.5 from 8.5, and I should have teased it up because the Cowboys had an opportunity to win. And if the Cowboys in the fourth quarter get in field goal range and kick a field goal, when Miles Sanders fumbles and Blankenship has the unsportsmanlike in the end zone, that would have been a field goal attempt, and the Eagles win 24-23, the tease wouldn't have mattered at 2.5. So I did play the wrong side there, still won. But the 8.5 I went back and forth on because I'm like, man, underdogs in week one play well. And underdogs in week one typically, more times than not, cover the spread. And this is one to where I think the Cowboys were trying to prove a point. Eagles were starting their season against a team that they're more than a touchdown and a 2-point conversion favorite against. People having fun at the expense of Jerry Jones. I liked the Cowboys to cover, but I didn't like it enough to actually put the money where
I did. I took Cowboys.
Good for you,
and
man.
I took the under, which was not looking good in the first half.
True.
I was like, wow, that's a dumb bet.
Yeah.
Of course it's the over. And then the under by, 2.5 points? Was it 46.5, I think?
Mm-hmm. And so you end up hitting that as well. But the Eagles get the win, and what's interesting is, the Chiefs coming off their Super Bowl win when they played the Lions at home, and thinking back to that game, and the difference in that game was the opportunities that the Chiefs gave the Lions, they took advantage of them. And the Chiefs end up losing that game. Now, ultimately, did it matter that much? They went on to win a Super Bowl that year anyway. But that first game, it was like, man, you had opportunities there. The Ravens last year and the Chiefs took advantage of some opportunities to the point that they had such a sizable lead that the Ravens, playing the football they did in the fourth quarter, put themselves in position to either tie or take the lead, but they ran out of time because they fell behind so early. Last night, to me, was a game of, I walk away from that game and going, the Cowboys had so many chances to win, and they let it get away. You would have never thought in the first quarter that the story of that game would have been CeeDee Lamb dropping the football and not coming through, because Dak and CeeDee were on fire in the first quarter. It's like every time Dak dropped back, here's 10 yards CeeDee Lamb, 20 yards CeeDee Lamb, 15 yards CeeDee Lamb. Ooh, nice catch by CeeDee Lamb. It's like, all right, well, this is a huge game for CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. They're showing what they're going to be this year offensively. Javonte Williams. The Cowboys had, 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns last year? I mean, it was so bad. It was absurd. And then they have their first 2 possessions rushing touchdowns. Yeah. Jalen Hurts scored 0 touchdowns last year on scrambles. 0. Every one of Jalen Hurts' rushing touchdowns were design runs or tush pushes. He hasn't had a scramble touchdown since 2023. And he had 2 in the first 2 possessions last night. Like, just randomness of the NFL, right?
Yeah.
You go that long without those things happening, and we look back and we go, Eagles certainly, made some plays when they were there, but I wouldn't have gone into the game saying CeeDee Lamb's inability to catch the football at times is what would catch and cost the Dallas Cowboys. I certainly didn't think there would be an ejection before the first play of the game.
Man.
I didn't think that would happen. But if I were to guess who it was, I may have guessed Jalen Carter.
I think that was kind of part of the...
Or not, actually, you know what? I would have guessed George Pickens.
Yeah,
I would have guessed George Pickens.
You would have been Pickens and Carter.
Pickens and Carter going back and forth.
Yeah. That was the concern when they drafted him. That's why you fell, partially, why you fell to 10. Eagles look beatable. It's also game 1, so it's of a long, long season, so don't want to take too much away. Defenses both found a way in the second half after the first half being just, I feel like any time the offense touched it, it was going to be at least be points.
It was turning into a no-punt game at one point,
Yeah, and again, I don't know where you view Jalen Hurts. It's the same conversation that is how good of a quarterback is he, yet he finds ways to win. If it's not his arms, it's his legs. I saw a whole bunch of people saying this is a top 5, top 10 quarterback. He had 150 yards. He did what was asked. It was 19 of 23, 2 rushing touchdowns, more effective on the ground than Saquon. I mean, I like ripping on the Eagles as much as the next guy, but even if he's not going to be a 300-yard passer, and, A.J. Brown, if you're a fantasy football, if you have him or Devontae, you're not going to be too thrilled right now. I get that. But Jalen Hurts did what was asked of him to win that game. That's what matters. The older I've gotten, the more I value that more than empty calories of throwing 300 yards, but they lose.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. And we heard Tom Brady talk about that in the offseason, about quarterbacks and what makes them special. And I think Jalen Hurts does that. Now, one of the things that was, watching it last night, and as I'm watching the game, certainly I view it through the prism of the overall NFL. Eagles are a team that if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, certainly they could play against. Oh, by the way, they play the Eagles next Sunday. So viewing it through the prism of watching it from that perspective, and there was a play that Jalen Hurts had, and I don't remember who the ball went to, but he was in the pocket, and he stood there, and he was holding firm, and he was relaxed, and the pocket was sort of collapsing around him to a degree, but not collapsing immediately like we've seen here in Kansas City. It was slowly sort of shrinking as he stood
the trash can compactor in Star Wars.
100%. That's exactly what I was
That's
thinking
the only time I think I've ever made a Star Wars reference.
It's a good one, though. And he just stood there. The offensive line got close to almost touching him, and he threw the ball, and they're like, Jalen Hurts' composure in the pocket. And I watched that play, and as I'm, thinking about what this year you would hope could look like for the Chiefs. Now, the difference is I don't know that Patrick Mahomes has it in him to stand in the pocket without his feet sort of moving around while scanning the field. I don't think that's his game. Sure. I think his game is I'm reading. Now let me get out and create.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You take the good with the bad. You take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
The facts of Patrick.
Yeah. But they pointed out, Jalen Hurts just calm in the pocket. And this is not to take away Jalen Hurts' pocket presence and maybe feel of trust, but he has had one of the best pass-blocking offensive lines throughout his career. He is not a guy that has scar tissue from game by game and play by play and week by week and year by year of the offensive line at times letting him down and having quick breakdowns to where you're just getting hit. Where if I'm standing here in the pocket, it's already 2 seconds too long for me to be here standing. And I wonder this year, and this is obviously something we've talked about, but what Patrick Mahomes would look like if there was that protection, and would he be more inclined to look like 2018, 2019 Patrick Mahomes when it was a trusting of this is what the play is supposed to do, these are the progressions, the offensive line is going to hold up, I'm here reading the field, and I'm delivering the football. Instead of what we've seen Mahomes become at times, which is, here's my pre-snap read, here's where I got to go with the ball, and if I don't, the offensive line, it's breaking down, and I got to get the hell out of here. And I think that has created some issues that how easy is that to eliminate and move past, and if you have the protection to get back into a blind trust for your offensive line, and certainly a blind side trust for your offensive line. And that's a big deal for tonight, because I think it could go a long way for what next Sunday could look like if the offensive line holds up tonight against, quite frankly, an inferior defensive line. The Chargers' defensive line is not that good. All right, the Chargers' front seven, quite frankly, is not that good.
Yeah.
Their defense is built, and the strength is their secondary. Their defensive line, if Khalil Mack weren't playing, it'd be one of the worst defensive lines in the NFL. But Khalil Mack is there. He's gotten, as he's aged, he's not as productive, but he's still there. The linebackers leave a lot to be desired for the Chargers.
Yeah, you have Denzel Perryman, and that's about.
And that's
somebody, he's fine. Yeah.
And is he even starting? Like, how much does he play? Like, it's one of those things where the Chiefs, in theory, should be able to protect, should be able to run the football and control the offense from that standpoint of being able to do both, while trying to find the mismatches in the secondary of the Chargers, which is where their strength is. if they are not able to do that tonight, then certainly there are concerns next week against a much better defensive line in the Eagles. But watching the game last night, and I'm checking it out, and it's like, I think there's a clear focus early on where the Eagles would like to make sure that Saquon's going to be healthy the entire year. So do we have to give him the ball every single time? Is he the guy that we're going to hand off 25 times and throw it to 5 more times? Like, game by game in the playoffs?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the case last night. And I don't know if that'll be the case or when that'll be the case moving forward for Saquon, because history shows when somebody touches the ball that much in one season, there's a higher rate of breakdown for that player the next year. And the Eagles are smart enough to know that. And I think that's why we saw so many different guys in the backfield last night for the Eagles, as opposed to last year. It was, Saquon and then Kenneth Gainwell. And that was kind of it at times.
You got Will Shipley involved. You got A.J. Dillon there, who's been a part of a timeshare for a long time with Aaron Jones in Green Bay.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of excitement around Will Shipley, at least from when he was drafted. So, 18 carries. He was more involved in the pass game. 4 receptions for Saquon's a lot. He's only around that 1 to 2 range, so 4 checkdowns. It wasn't like the average depth of target or even just Jalen. He wasn't moving the ball down the field a ton in this one. I mean, as a fantasy football owner of Saquon, I hope he gets a lot of touches, but he salvages it with the touchdown and the 4 receptions. Thank you, PPR.
Yeah. Are you a McCaffrey owner as well?
I was last year. That was dumb.
I didn't know if you were yet again this year.
No, I quit. I quit him.
You should be happy that you did, with McCaffrey popping up on the injury report yesterday with, stop me if you've heard this before, a calf injury.
Is he going to fly to, was it Germany?
I'm not sure where he's going to fly to. But yeah, so it's a real shock in San Francisco. People are real surprised that
they probably knew why they went out and brought in Brian Robinson, right?
You would think
that is probably part of the reason.
I mean, you've got to count on him not playing 16 games, not only 17 games. Let's hear from Dak Prescott last night. These are his thoughts post game. Shocking. The first thing he was asked when he got to the podium was about what happened with Jalen Carter and his perspective of the spitgate between Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott.
I probably spit 1,000 times throughout the game. I mean, especially game day, maybe even in general, and something I guess I'm not proud of. But in that case, he was trolling, I guess you could say, trying to mess with Tyler Booker. I was just looking at him. I was right here by the 2 linemen, and guess I needed to spit, and I wasn't going to spit on my lineman, and I just spit ahead. But I would say he was back there where Jory was in that sense, and he asked, or he goes, "You trying to spit on me?" And at that point, I mean, I felt like he was insulting me. Like I wouldn't spit on somebody. I'm damn sure not trying to spit on you. Like, we're about to play a game. I'm wondering why you're trying to mess with the rookie. And so when I stepped through, I actually say the words like, "What the hell would I? Excuse me, but I'm probably even more colorful. What would I need to spit on you for?" And he just spit on me in that moment, and it was more of a surprise than anything. Refs obviously saw it through the flag. I was like, hell yeah, we get 15 yards to start the game off. Didn't realize he was getting ejected. Unfortunate that he did. Hell of a player. Changed our plan and our blocking scheme, as I've told you all right before the week, that we're going to protect against him. So helped in that manner, but I don't wish for anybody to get out of the game. I'm sure he probably regrets that to some extent. I'm pretty sure he knows I didn't try to spit on him or wasn't even aiming to spit on him. So something that's probably going to get a lot of coverage and a lot of attention that feel sorry for him in the sense of, I mean, I know how excited each and every one of us are, right, to kick off the season and the season opener, and hell of a player like that doesn't even get a chance in the first play. Unfortunate circumstances.
How did you keep your composure in that situation? You saw you just motion to the ref,
Yeah, I was more surprised. I mean, honestly, it hit me more on my shirt of my collar, I guess, than straight skin, and thankfully. But yeah, I was just more surprised. I mean, like I said, I was insulted that he even thought I tried to spit on him. So for him to react and spit, I'm sure it's not something he's proud of.
It's one of the craziest things we've seen, in that somebody's being carted off the football field, and then somebody else away from that ends up getting disqualified and kicked out of the game because he spit. We do have audio from one of the offensive linemen for the Dallas Cowboys and telling his side of the story.
Something happened that changed us.
in a very deep and profound way from that day forward.
What was it?
He spit on us. And I screamed out, I'm hit!
Then I turned and the spit ricocheted off him and it hit me.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have that audio of the offensive line and their side of the story of what took place, but we were able to get that exclusive audio. It was a magic loogie, is what it was that took place there in the game. I'm hit!
And then he said, I'm out. I'm out.
He threw. Nice game. Did Dak Prescott look at Jalen Carter and say, nice game, pretty boy? I don't think he did. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk some Royals. Nice game by pretty boy Bobby Witt. That's not his nickname, but it should be. We'll talk about that. We'll get into some Kansas City Chiefs breakdown. Lee Sterling will help us break down the weekend as well. We'll talk Mizzou and KU. We continue rolling on this Friday, Red Friday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. All right, man, if you're out there and maybe of a certain age and you... All right, a Friday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, and Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. We'll hear from Lee Sterling coming up later on this hour. Last night, the Royals get the win, and I don't know, season-saving game maybe last night with the win. You don't want to get swept by the Angels, obviously. And Bobby Witt Jr., while the night before the error brings in the winning run, last night, Salvi and Bobby's home runs tie and then give you the lead in that game. Urseg comes in the 8th, takes care of business. Estevez outside of the double looked like he had his great stuff. I mean, he was pumping in there 98 miles an hour on a fastball, and it's okay. There's
Urseg was too. He was throwing some heat by dudes.
Estevez and their boys pumped up. All right. So it was nice to see them get that win last night. We always talk about momentum and next day starting pitching and all of that stuff, but they needed that one last night in a huge way. That was a have-to-have-it last night game. And as I said yesterday, I think the Royals, if we're really talking about them competing as they get ready for an incredibly tough slate of games and a stretch of games in their schedule, 4 in a row. Tonight's going to be difficult with Pablo Lopez on the mound. It's his first start since coming back from rehab. He looked good his last 2 outings in his minor league rehab assignments, I think. 12 Ks, 1 walk in the 10 innings or so that he pitched in his last 2 rehab starts down at AAA. So we'll see what he looks like tonight. Luckily, he's right-handed. And Michael Wacha on the mound with Kolick going tomorrow for Seth Lugo, who's on the IL.
And Pablo Lopez has been really good, not just in general, but against KC.
Oh, yeah.
He's 5-1 with a 2.16 ERA, 56 strikeouts, and 8 starts against KC. He has this year in 11 innings. No, what is that now?
I think it's like 10 2/3 maybe.
Yeah, I forgot because he came out early because he had was a hamstring or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Was that opening day?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
That may have been opening day.
It was a while ago.
But he's been very good against KC, to put it mildly.
But luckily, he's a guy that you got a book on. The Royals know about him. They've seen him. It's not one of those like we talked about yesterday. Well, I mean, it's really hard to get a feel for a guy like this, the guy that you don't know, the guy that you haven't seen, and you see him for the first time, and then you get a feel for him in your second at bat, and then the third time through the order, he's out of the game, and it's like, okay, well, when's the next time I'm going to see that guy? They'll see Pablo Lopez again. Michael Wacha needs to have a big outing tonight. And thankfully, there's a righty on the mound. So we don't have to worry about Quattrero putting Tolbert in center field because a lefty is on the mound and losing that defense in center field with Michael Wacha, a guy who typically pitches to contact. Still one of the more puzzling and head-scratching moves that took place this year. But that's in the past. Time for the Royals to go out and sweep the Twins. They just got swept by the White Sox at home. Minnesota did. So there is no reason why the Royals, disaster would be losing the series.
Yes.
I mean, just winning only one of the next 2 would be disaster. Shooting par would be winning 2 of 3. You're serious about making the playoffs, you win all 3. You win all 3, you take care of business, and you see what happens with Seattle. You see what happens with Cleveland and Tampa.
Tampa, who won again. They've won 8 straight games now. I mean, Tampa Bay is on a heater.
They are hot. And you don't play them again this year. You don't play the Rays again this year.
And you split the season series because you swept them in Tampa, and they swept you in KC.
And again, we talked yesterday, I'm not really all that worried about the Rangers because I think the injuries will catch up and their schedule is ridiculous the rest of the way, how difficult it is. Whereas the Yankees finish up with a bunch of second division teams.
Yeah. I just like that the Big Four really stepped up last night.
Yes.
The Big Four you've talked about all season long, Bobby, Vinny, Salvi, and Adam Frazier.
Yep. That's what everybody has said. That was back in April. We talked about Adam Frazier being part of the Big Four. He just wasn't with the Royals yet. I mean, we've been discussing that since spring training, really?
If Adam Frazier cranks one out, that's when you know that, that may be a mark, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that might be a mark.
Michael and I already made contact.
Yeah, I saw your face, and I go, shoot.
Shoot. Anyway, if he hits a home run or something like that?
Yeah, that's when you know you're going right. That's when you know that you gotta win that game because that's only his, 6th of the year?
Yeah. You got 4 home runs, all solo shots, last night in the game. Frazier, Vinny, Salvi, Bobby. You needed all of them. And you know what? Joe Adele didn't hit a 7-run home run. So that was good.
I cannot get over how Salvador Perez hits these home runs. That one earlier this year that was so far, like 2 weeks ago, that was so far outside, it's like in the other batter's box, and he takes it the other way. This ball was a good pitch low.
But how many times does he swing at that and not make contact?
It's why it's the conundrum.
100%.
No, but it wasn't outside.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't low and it wasn't a slider low and outside in the dirt where he couldn't reach.
Low and inside.
I'll take one. Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take one low and inside. Low and in the middle of the plate, swinging through. Low and outside, no chance.
It's the conundrum of Salvador Perez, where it's like you don't want him swinging at those, and then all of a sudden those are the ones that he hits for home runs.
Yeah.
It's perplexing. I cannot get over how he was able to muscle that one out. That was very impressive. And again, I think this Royals team, hopefully, in late game situations, in tight games, you have a guy that can come through in Salvi. You have that. Like, I do think there's a clutch factor. I know there's been studies and stuff, how people are like, some of the nerds try and say it's not real.
Nerds.
And I'm like, it's real.
And spectacular?
And Salvi has. It is spectacular because Salvi is that guy.
It's real and spectacular.
We've seen Bobby at times do it offensively. That previous game made me a little nervous in a tight game for Bob. Full transparency. Can he do it? He did it this game in the 8th, right? It was a tie game.
Yeah.
We need to see Bobby come through in some big-time moments, I think, later on. He's done some. The grand slam against, Duran?
Yeah.
Against the Twins, but just in general. You have Salvi, who's a clutch guy. Who else on this team is clutch? That's what we need to find out.
Yeah. 913-912-4810. Text says, this is pretty good. I like it. There's absolutely no way that was a season-saving win on Thursday. I was told on both Tuesday and Wednesday after they lost that each was a season-ending defeat.
Which way is the wind blowing? Because that's the way I'm going to go with.
Well, no. Here's exactly what we said. On Tuesday night, because Monday was off, Tuesday night, I got my days straight this week, killing it. On Tuesday night, Vinny said that was a gut punch. Wednesday night, we talked about yesterday morning, but I tweeted it out on Wednesday night. If Tuesday was a gut punch, this was an uppercut that knocks you to the canvas. The ref is counting, but you're not knocked out yet. It's counting. You need to get up. Need to test your gloves and your hands to make sure you're good to go. He hasn't waved his arm, but you better respond quickly. Get up! Get up! And not have, you throw the towel! Throw the damn towel! Don't do that. Don't do that. You didn't throw the towel when you signed Seth Lugo, okay? And so you don't have the Russian standing over you going, if he dies, he dies. You don't have that right now. So there is the referee that's counting. And last night, the Royals got up to a knee. They're on their way up off the canvas.
Yeah.
They're not there yet because the count is still going on. They could still fall back down.
Hey, I didn't hear no bell.
I didn't hear no bell. Text says, and I know what the texter is saying, but he's clarifying. Says, to be clear, I'm not saying that you guys on your show said that.
Oh, no, that's fine. I think I did on
what
Tuesday.
I read all over Royals Twitter.
I think I did on Tuesday on my Twitter account. I think I just said,
yeah.
I think I just put the James Blunt song.
Yeah, it was like,
Goodbye, my lover.
Yeah, I barely knew thee or something like that. I don't know what you put on there.
It's dumb, but I'm not known for nuance when it comes to Royals playoff hopes and dreams.
True. That's true.
Like the Micah Parsons conversation, I'm a nuanced man.
Okay.
The Chiefs, I'm a nuanced man. The Royals, when it comes to playoff aspirations.
He's a nuanced kind of man. You should sing that one.
Oh, that'd be a good one, yeah.
Yeah. Something nobody understands. You're someone nobody understands. A nuanced kind of man.
I said I wanted to make a song for A Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. It's a long way to the top if you want to win a Super Bowl.
It is. That is true, though. That is absolutely correct. Many people have said that for a long time.
Did you wake up with any Chiefs songs?
No, I did not.
My wife woke me up with Beastie Boys' "Fight for Your Right."
Oh, I love it.
And then we
Did
both.
she really? Like you woke up with your wife playing Beastie Boys?
It was awesome. And then
Nice.
we at the same time we go.
Keep her.
We're brushing our teeth and we go play.
You guys brush your teeth? Keep her.
We said at the same time we go Sabotage next, and we played Sabotage, and then we played Rock and Roll Part 2.
What was what's Part 1?
I don't know if there really was a Part 1 by Gary Glitter.
Okay. By the way, I'm doing some quick math.
Okay, I was just letting you know you were doing something, so I was going to keep the story going. But that's how I woke up this morning was with Chiefs pump up tracks because I feel like you have to.
So, question came in and said, if the Royals and Rays are tied at 3 games apiece in the season series, the second tiebreaker would be divisional record. How's that look? Royals currently, they've got 3 left against the Twins, then they still play the Tigers. The Guardians for 4. 4 games at Cleveland. So they've got a 23-22 record, the Royals do. So they've got 7 games remaining against their division and a 23-22 record, if my math is correct, and I'm not saying it is. The Rays right now are 16-21, so they're 5 games under 500 in the East.
Okay.
So with 3 games remaining for the Royals against the Twins, they've already got essentially a 5-game head start, or 7 games in the win column already within the division, with 23 wins so far and the Rays 16. Rays play a lot of divisional games left. The Royals have just the 7 divisional games remaining. So, from that standpoint, it's a good question because I was kind of wondering myself. The Rays schedule the rest of the way. They play 4 against Toronto at home, 3 against Boston at home. Then they go to Baltimore for 3 and go to Toronto for 3. So that's 3, 6, 9, 13 more games left within the division for the Tampa Bay Rays, with 3, 6, 7 of those against Toronto, leading the division, trying to hold off the Yankees. 3 at Baltimore against a team playing out the string, and 3 against Boston that they are battling for a wild card spot.
All I could think about...
I think the Royals have the advantage here in that tiebreaker. So, in theory, real quick, the Royals should have the advantage in terms of tiebreaker. They will have it over the Rangers. They should have it over the Rays. And we'll see against the Minnesota Twins or the Seattle Mariners if they have the tiebreaker over them, because they are tied right now and they have a 3-game set coming up. So go ahead.
That's big, but I like that you did the math, because it's almost like Andy when he's like, Veach handles that.
Yeah.
When it comes to math, Jason handles that. When it comes to math, Jason handles that.
By the way, Cleveland, they're 4-5 against so far this year with 4 games left against the Guardians, so that could decide if they've got the tiebreaker over them as well.
That is big. I mean, honestly, because it might come down to that the Rays keep playing this sort of baseball.
Yeah.
They are going to be in it until the end. We thought they were done. They were 5 games under 500, 6 games, whatever it was, and they have powered back 8 straight wins for Tampa. And again, anytime you said 3-6-9, the immediate thing I thought was, damn you fine.
Yeah.
Get Low by Lil Jon.
That's right.
I don't know if you have certain numbers that just make you think of
8675309.
Tommy Two-Tone.
Yeah, that's right. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Certain numbers with the betting flavor this weekend locally. Certainly, we'll find out with Lee Sterling and Todd Lebo, Paramount Sports. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone next. Yeah, game on. Week 1, it's already started, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. It's not just football, it's first touchdown fireworks.
Welcome back into the zone on this Real Red Friday. Chiefs and Chargers coming up tonight down in Brazil. But right now, it's time to talk to Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports. He's got some good college games for us to bet on. And let's get after it, Lee. What's going on at Paramount Sports? It's September, right?
Yep.
I think we got to remember this September, right?
Yeah, I had a rough first weekend, got to be honest. Some people out there say they win all the time. Not the case. Did not have a winning week. But I was able to finish last night every single game from last week. And I think there's a bunch of teams that are overrated and some way underrated. So I feel much, much better about this week. And I found one game where I think the line's off 7 to 10 points. And we're going to release a rare 40 to 50 unit max wager where we're 71-28 lifetime on these games. So you want to get this 40 to 50 unit max wager, get the rest of September, 4 weeks, to use coupon code SAVE100, just $397 for our phone service for a month. And you're going to get 9 to 12 selections a week, and it will include our 40 to 50 unit max wager on Saturday. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
All right, let's talk about some games here. And we've got Illinois and Duke. This is ACC and Big Ten. People like Illinois a little bit this year. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I like them too, and I think they're better as an underdog. But I just think that Duke is just mediocre. I mean, they do have a really good quarterback in Darian Mensah, and he had a big game, 27 for 34 for 389 yards, and Duke's 45-17 win, but it was against Elon. So they're just not a top-tier team, is Duke. Illinois might be one of the most underappreciated teams in the country in a power conference. They closed the season on 4 straight wins, including a win over South Carolina in a bowl game. They returned 19 out of 22 starters, plus great special teams. Last week, they beat Western Illinois and ran it for almost 6 yards a carry, and they stopped the run, only allowing 1 yard per carry last week. I think Duke's just too one-dimensional here, mainly a passing team, and Illinois controls both line of scrimmage here. Illinois by double digits, 27-17.
How about the big Cy-Hawk game coming up? This will be 11 o'clock our time. Iowa State hosting Iowa. This is always a fun matchup.
Yep.
Iowa took a little while to get going last week, but they got it going, and Iowa State's already 2-0.
Yeah, they are 2-0, and Rocco Becht almost perfect last week against South Dakota in their 55-7 win. Went 19 for 20. That's a school record, 95% completion percentage. But I like this transfer quarterback that Iowa brought in. Love the running back, Xavier Williams, redshirt freshman, come out of nowhere, 122 rushing yards and a touchdown. 5 of the 6 games have been low-scoring games here between these two teams. I just think that Iowa's defensive coordinator, Phil Parker, usually will be able to take away your best weapon and force you into 3rd and long situations. And when that happens, you're going to get a turnover or two. And their special teams, top 10 consistently, whereas Iowa State is middle of the road here. They've won 7 of the last 9 games straight up. 5-3-1 against the spread in that span. I think you take the slight edge here to the dog. Iowa plus the 3. Wrong team favored. Iowa 23-20 over Iowa State.
It's always a fun one. All right, now we got a big game that's only happened once before. This is Michigan and Oklahoma. They played in the bowl game in like 1976, so this is not traditional in any way, but it's a big intersectional battle, I guess they would call it. Michigan's coming to Oklahoma, huge home game early in the season for Oklahoma, and they're 5.5 point favorite.
Yeah, John Mateer's great. I mean, I've been watching him, and you watch him in close games and their big games. He really comes on late in the game. He is that good and that fun to watch. He's going to elevate this program. But I don't see any top-level receivers. No CD Lands eventually on this squad here. The running backs are okay. They're fine. But Michigan got Justice Haynes from Alabama. He was their best running back, had a career 159 rushing yards last week, including 3 touchdowns. And Bryce Underwood, they're going with a true freshman. And in my opinion, he is as good as advertised. They did not run him last week. So I think that they held back on showing the playbook, and I think they're going to unleash him running the ball here. And OU won last week 35-3, but only 103 rushing yards on 32 carries. I just think Michigan's offensive and defensive lines here will be the difference. Oklahoma survives 24-21, but I think you got to grab the 5 points.
Yeah, I think both those teams didn't show much last week. That's what those early games can do. This will be a fun one for sure. Now, before that, 2:30 our time, everybody around here is buzzing about the Chiefs playing tonight, but Kansas and Missouri playing for the first time on campus since 2006. They haven't played in a long time, and people are jacked up for this one. Missouri's a pretty big number here as a favorite over a Kansas team that's already 2-0 as well.
Yeah, I thought there would be a drop-off on offense for Missouri after losing quarterback Brady Cook, running back Nate Noel, and the receivers Luther Burden and Theo Weiss. But I like this kid, Bo Probella. I think he is really good from Penn State. True freshman running back Marquise Davis, their receivers, transfer from Mississippi State, Kevin Coleman. I think they're as dynamic as last year, or maybe even more. On defense, they return 9 starters, and they bring in a kid Wilson from Georgia, defensive end. Looks like he's a beast. And the safety from UNLV, maybe the best safety in the transfer portal, Jalen Catalon. So I think Missouri is going to surprise some people here. Kansas is better than last year's team already, but I don't think they're up to SEC middle-of-the-road standards here. I think Missouri scores and wins and covers by a touchdown, 35-27.
Well, that's going to make half the people happy and half the people mad around here. That's what we got on this one. All right, K-State 0-2 against the spread this year for sure because they lost in Ireland when they were favorites, and they were big favorites last week and barely pulled it out against North Dakota State. So now the number's about half of what it was last week. It's only 16.5. Army's maybe not very good, though, but this is the weird team to prepare for.
Yeah, they had trouble. Army did. They only ran for 280 yards, and then they run the triple option, and a 30-27 loss to Tarleton State here. So when you only run for 4.2 yards per carry, that's not a good sign. Option offense needs to be running at least 5 yards per carry. Did control the ball for almost 37 minutes of that game, but I just think Kansas State's going to score here. A lot of 2- and 3-play drives here, and only 4 offensive starters return for this Army team, and one is not the quarterback here. I just think that this is a great situational play for Kansas State here. Finally, they get an easy win here, 38-14.
No, they'd take that. I mean, they took the win last week, but they'd take a big win. They'd take no nerves at the end of the game for sure.
Yep.
All right, what do you have for our game of the week? Nebraska was just in town here in Kansas City. They'll be back at home next week, though.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I feel so strongly about the Nebraska-Akron game and also the Chiefs game that's going on tonight. I'm going to give them both games. How about that? First time we've ever done that. Both games, Nebraska-Akron, and also the big Kansas City Chiefs game against the Chargers for free. All they need to do is call 800-400-9741. Get Nebraska and Akron and Kansas City and the Chargers, 800-400-9741. If they want to hop on board, get our first max 40 to 50 unit wager of the year where we're 71-28. Use that coupon code SAVE100, just $397, ParamountSports.com.
Sounds great, Lee. Can't wait to get after this all football season long. Have a great weekend, buddy.
You too. Take care. Be safe.
All right, that's Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports. Check it out online at ParamountSports.com. More Zone coming up next on a Chiefs Red Friday game day.
All right, a Friday edition, Red Friday edition. Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. Let's talk some Kansas City Chiefs. And I was thinking about this, Matt. This is the first game, correct me if I'm wrong, that the Chiefs have ever played on Red Friday, because they played on Black Friday after Thanksgiving. But is this the first ever Chiefs Red Friday game in their history? I couldn't remember another one, because the only time they played on Friday, it was Black Friday.
Well, they played on a Friday against the Dolphins with the Hurricane.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a great point. I forgot about the Hurricane.
That wasn't week one, though, was it?
No,
That was,
I just mean in general.
Just
I know
a
it's
Red
not
Friday.
just
so, it's not
so I guess, yeah, the
not
Hurricane.
the first Red Friday.
Yeah, the Hurricane changed some things around. So it's not. Thank you for reminding me of that one.
I had to be reminded that earlier, too.
So. Oh, there you go. So the second Red Friday the Chiefs are playing. Matt Derrick is our guest. Matt, let's talk about the Brazil trip and the sort of surrounding things with that. Here's Travis Kelce. This was from his podcast. This was not this is clip number 3. This is not at the podium speaking to the assembled media in Brazil and national. So this is on his podcast talking about the travel to Brazil and playing this game. This is from Wednesday's New Heights podcast. Here's Travis Kelce on travel to Brazil.
This is the most unique I think it's been in terms of traveling to a game. It's not like you're going to the other side of the world in terms of like time zones and stuff. We're only going two time zones away, but we're traveling half a day. Yeah. So it's an interesting. Typically, you would go to London and time it up to where you get in London or you get overseas in Europe, and you have a whole day in front of you, so you can sleep on the plane. You can, or at least try and get some sleep on the plane to take up the time of the flight.
Yep.
It's a whole thing right now of like trying to get there and get acclimated without losing the sleep schedule, keeping you in tune with, just the times you're waking up and the times you'll be at your peak athleticism, throughout the day. So it's a bit of juggling that. I know the stadium's 2 hours away from the hotel. That'll be a unique experience. Driving to the game for 2 hours, the old college football way that we used to drive to Miami, even though that wasn't that far away. But we were a Delta hand, and we got to play it. Yeah. And it is what it is. I think it'll be rewarding if we go down there and find a way to win, knowing that this is such a unique schedule and unique experience. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited to go down to Brazil, man.
So I thought that was interesting from the standpoint of, I would guess it would be more difficult to go to Europe, Germany, England, when you've got that time change and it's acclimating to, it's 8-9 hours ahead there, and it's like you should be sleeping but you're awake, and you should be awake but now you're tired. And how do you get up to, as he said, peak athletic form with your essential circadian rhythm, whereas you're only going 2 time zones ahead. So it's Eastern plus is really it. But it almost made it sound like it might have been more difficult because the travel is during the day, and maybe you don't want to sleep that entire travel because then you might be up all night, and then you're trying to catch up on sleep or whatever it might be. I don't know. I thought that was interesting, where it almost sounded like it was a little more difficult to not have to acclimate to a time zone that is so much different than Central.
Yeah, because, to your point, and normally it's about a 12-hour flight. The Chiefs were hoping that it might be more like 11, and that they might even get a good tailwind. It might be 10 and a half.
Did that happen?
It did not. So
left late, arrived late. The flight was longer than they thought.
Yeah, for those of you who don't follow things on FlightAware and track planes and everything like that, like occasionally my job apparently turns into. So yeah, they were supposed to leave at 7. They took off at like 8:53. So that was part of the problem.
Been there, done that.
Well, were they leaving Brazil time or Central time?
So they were trying to leave 7 o'clock.
Depends on who you ask.
Kansas City time. And like I said, they were hoping to be 12 hours. So it took off at basically 9.
Yeah.
So you gain 2 hours. If it's a 12-hour flight, you're going to get there at 11. Well, they got there at 11. They were hoping to be a whole lot less than that.
Yeah,
they were hoping that maybe they could make up some time in the air, but it looks like they had to go the full route.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they get there. You take off at 9. You get there at 11. I mean, you've been at the airport since probably 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they didn't have to, sit on the plane this time like they did when they were going to Denver last year.
Thank goodness.
And they were on the plane for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and this bus ride's going to be real.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some players have different tendencies. I mean, they have different schedules. Usually when you're on a road game, there's 2 buses. There's an early bus and a late bus. You can go into whichever one you want. It can be one bus on this one, and it's going to leave even earlier than usual because, I mean, they're planning on 2 hours. Could be 2.5.
Yeah.
You never know.
Hopefully
It could be 90 minutes.
Hopefully
they could
this
get
one's
lucky.
hopefully this one's a little shorter. They wanted to have a shorter flight, so maybe they'll have a shorter bus ride, and it'll even out there. But
I'm told that they'll have a police escort, which I'm told in Sao Paulo actually slows things down even further. So,
of course, that's great.
Because nobody apparently moves for a police escort in Brazil. It's like, if anything, they see a police escort coming, people get in their cars and pull out in front of it.
Look, I got somewhere to be, too. All right, you're going to play a game. I got work.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not getting out of the way for you guys to go and play a football game. All right, traffic's already crazy because you guys are here anyway.
They're still working on 69 South down there,
right.
too.
Yes,
they got construction.
Exactly. Come on, man. That thing's not
Everybody's got their own 69 South.
I mean, let's go. The as we wrap up this part of it, one of the things that the Chiefs have an advantage, and in the second segment, I'm going to get into specific on-the-field advantages, disadvantages the Chiefs have for this matchup. But every week you go into a game where you feel like Andy Reid gives the Chiefs an advantage to some degree, whether that's schematic, play calling, understanding his players, whatever variables might be in a game. And this is a game where having Andy Reid helps you because the more variables thrown into stuff, the more I trust the Chiefs will be able to handle those things with their team, the players, and Andy Reid. It's not that Jim Harbaugh doesn't know what he's doing. It'd be, if this was a first-year head coach, I think it would be even bigger advantage. But this is the first international trip for Jim Harbaugh. And this is the fourth for Andy Reid international trip. And they're 3-0, and they've covered the spread all 3 times that they've played. I think whenever you've got a game that you've got to switch some things around, COVID, Chiefs play in Buffalo at a different time, Hurricane, Chiefs play at a different time, you've got to switch some things around. I trust that Andy Reid's going to be able to handle that than the other guy and have his team more prepared than the other guy.
Typically, yes, you're right. And the fact that this team has been, I mean, they've had a crazy schedule, and they've been to Germany, like you said. Andy Reid's been to London. Travis Kelce's been to London.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys were in Mexico City, so there's some commonality there. So you've got that advantage. There's some of the Chargers, I guess, who've been to Mexico City too.
Mm-hmm.
They've played internationally. Some of those players have. You're right about the coaching standpoint, though. Andy Reid's got a system. This one's a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
and like you talked about, there were different options. Obviously, the Packers took the option where I think they went down 5 days early last year.
That's right, yeah.
Was not the right call because everybody was just miserable having to be on the bus the entire all week long. Because they were trying to get their practices in, and because I mean that's the crazy thing. I mean, I guess this is the nicest stadium for the NFL standards that they want to play in Brazil, and Sao Paulo's the biggest city, so that's where they want to play, but. I look at the Chiefs like yesterday with their walkthrough. Now, granted, usually on a walkthrough, day before a game, I mean, they do it in a hotel ballroom.
Yeah, right.
So, we're not looking for anything sophisticated here. It looked like, they'd just gone down to Swope Park in a rugby field.
It looks like a junior high football field with that old goalpost that's there.
It was definitely a rugby field, and it looked like just a community rugby field. Like, when
it was just a walkthrough.
Hey, Chiefs, you need to get out of the way because we got a men's rec league 35 plus that needs this field.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
If you guys could hurry that up, please.
Yeah, luckily it was just a walkthrough and things like that, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I do think it's fascinating that Dave Tobe talked about not having a walkthrough or being able to be at the actual stadium to test out the turf before game day.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is what it's going to be today. You would think maybe that the NFL, because of what happened last year, on that Thursday, we're going to give you guys an hour or two there on the field, each team to go and do a walkthrough, test it out, whatever you need to do. Maybe they did and that's not something that we're covering or talking about, and it's not technically a walkthrough. I don't know, but if the stadium's that far from the Chiefs, do you want to drive 4 hours?
That's the thing.
To then test the field.
Send a guy.
I mean,
send Butker and Winchester and Ariza.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could take a helicopter, but then I'm starting having flashbacks to the Harrison Ford in the Tom Clancy movie in Colombia and everything. I mean, might have to have the CIA involved in order to get you from the hotel to the stadium and via helicopter. But yeah, I mean that's the point. I mean, you could do that even if you just wanted to send the specialist over. But do you want to be in a bus for 4 or 5 hours the day before the game? Probably not.
To then be in that
or in an Uber.
Day.
I mean, I guess you could probably get there faster. I'm assuming they have Lyft and Ubers.
Just stay in a hotel by there.
There's no. I mean, the only good hotel that's near there is the one the Chargers, get. So
only one. There's just one hotel.
Apparently there's only 2 hotels of NFL standard with security that they can set up.
Seems smart.
So once again, I mean, it brings you back to, was this the best location to choose in Brazil for a
what
game?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
But hey, we get to watch a football game tonight, and it is here. And so let's take a timeout. We'll come back and let's talk about, we've broken down the Chiefs 15,000 different ways since that game ended in February with the Chiefs and Eagles down in New Orleans. Now we get to look at an actual football game, so let's do that. Let's break down this game, Chiefs and Chargers, the matchup, where the Chiefs have an advantage, a disadvantage, what we like in this game. We'll get Matt Derrick's season prediction, game prediction, and maybe a KU and Mizzou prediction. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone next. Game on, week 1. It's here. It started last night. It continues tonight on into the weekend, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. It's not just football. It's first touchdown fireworks, anytime touchdown rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. And if you are a new customer, well, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, you can grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB to get $300 off in bonus bets instantly, or at least... All right, so we get into the game. Chiefs-Chargers coming up tonight. Matt, let's start from this standpoint, not talking about the quarterback because that's an obvious advantage that the Chiefs have over the Los Angeles Chargers of Anaheim. Let's discuss advantages first, and we may get into and we can get into disadvantages. What do you look at as you see this matchup, Matt? Where do you find the advantages for the Chiefs on the field? Not wearing number 15. That's one we can put aside and know there's the obvious one when they show up in a particular game. Where do the Chiefs have an advantage in this one for you tonight?
I mean, I think they're on the offensive side. I think they've got an advantage in just the passing game in general. I mean, the Chargers have lost a couple of pieces in their secondary. I mean, they've still got Derwin James, but even Derwin James isn't quite Derwin James anymore. He's getting up there, and I think the mileage and the injuries have taken their toll a little bit. So, and he's obviously sometimes been your Travis Kelce guy, probably still will be. But hey, Chargers don't have Christian Fulton anymore. They've had some turnover in that secondary, and that's what everybody wants to see. They want to see the Chiefs receivers and their speed attack somebody and see what happens. Because we know teams, and the Chargers are going to be one of them. Everybody wants to try to keep Patrick Mahomes and keep the ball in front of you. That's what happened last year. Obviously, Mahomes didn't have time to throw last year, which was another part of the problem. And that's somewhere where with the Chargers, even though their pass rush is getting up there in years two, and they're getting a little long in the tooth, but you're also got them going up against Josh Simmons and Kingsley Suamataia, and you've got some veterans. They're going to show those two guys some stuff they haven't seen before. So hopefully they've been in their film and they've been watching what these guys do. Because if I'm the Chargers and a pass rush standpoint, I mean, I'm not attacking the Chiefs' offensive line just straight up. I'm throwing them some stunts. I'm throwing them combos. I'm doing all sorts of stuff because that's the thing is that these are two new guys that haven't worked together a lot. They're both rookies. They haven't seen that much yet. And that's where you get a chance to attack them because that's where they're going to make their mistakes. It's going to be in their communication, when they're handing off assignments, that kind of thing. So, part one, will the Chiefs have the time? Will Patrick Mahomes have the time to be able to attack the field deep? Because if he does, then you want to see what happens. And because if Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, if they're able to stretch the field a little bit, does it open up the underneath like the Chiefs are hoping that it will? If it does, I mean, Chiefs can move the football.
We talked about the defensive line for the Chiefs and my frustration of them not addressing the run-stopping defensive line, the one technique that I would have liked to see them address. And
they got Derek Nottie. What are you complaining about?
Great point. My bad. I now backtrack my statement, and let me reassess.
He's 5 years younger than your previous option.
I love what the Chiefs have done. But while we've had some consternation around here and hand-wringing around the defensive line and run-stopping, I would be even more concerned if I were discussing and breaking down the Chargers because this is a far cry from a defensive line when Bosa was healthy. When Bosa was healthy and Poona Ford was playing. And 3 of the 4 defensive linemen were Poona Ford, Bosa, and Khalil Mack. They lose Bosa. They lose Poona Ford. They didn't replace them. Khalil Mack is a year older. Tuipulotu, Tuipulotu's brother, Tuli Tuipulotu, his brother, is starting opposite Khalil Mack. They haven't done much to address that. They're worse. And if Khalil Mack takes a step back in age this year, and he's always been pretty good. I mean, even last year he had over 90 pass rush grades. So he's still a stud even at his age. But he's 34 years old as an edge rusher. If he takes a step back, this defensive line could be one of the bottom third units in all of football. And that's where, like, when I see the advantage for the Chiefs, when you talk about the passing game, I'm with you because this to me is a huge test, Matt, that if Mahomes doesn't have time to throw tonight, I really worry about the next 2 weeks against the Eagles and Giants. That will bring stud defensive lines and waves at Mahomes in that offensive line.
Yeah, they're going to face tougher challenges going forward. This is, like I said, this is at least a good one to me because they've got some veteran guys. Like I said, and that can be sometimes the advantage. It's not necessarily even because once again, I'm not terribly worried about how Josh Simmons is going to hold up one-on-one with elite pass rushers.
I
I think he's going to hold his own. I mean, it might not be fantastic.
And let me just point out, when Khalil Mack typically has been pass rushing without Bosa, he's been on the left side of the defensive line. That would be Jawan Taylor.
Yeah.
When Bosa was there, Khalil Mack was a right end defensive pass rusher, and he was going up against DJ Humphries last year when they played each other. But when Joey Bosa isn't there, Mack typically is that Max Crosby left defensive end. But go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. But you got a couple of guys there. I mean, who are Tua Paluto's been around for a little while, so
right.
I mean, you've got a couple of guys who are veterans that can show you some things, and even with their inside guys, I mean,
Tier
Chart's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I mean, and if you've got those situations where you got a couple of guys who've played together for a while, going against two guys who have not played together at all. And that's the challenge. I mean, that's where at least this week you're going to get a matchup of some veterans that are going to show you some things that you haven't seen before. And that's why at least I want to see how these guys do in those situations. Because like I said, I mean, I don't necessarily have a ton of worry about, even with Kingsley, I don't have a ton of worry about how these guys are going to hold up one-on-one. It's just going to be when they see some more complicated stuff, how do they hang together? How do they communicate? How do they hand off? Let's see what happens. But if they can hold up, and if they're able to give Mahomes time, I want to see if this speed can light up, because this is a secondary that you can take advantage of.
I've asked this question a couple times to different people we've had on the show. We know what Andy Reid does in tendency, and does he break tendency in regular season? Does he break tendency ever, really? Last year we wondered if the Chiefs would run the football to offset the Eagles' pass rush in the Super Bowl, and the Eagles, and hoping that the Chiefs would be able to be more explosive against lighter boxes, where the Eagles may play 6 in the box and 5 guys in the secondary, and just put pressure on Mahomes with your front 4, and then have your 2 linebackers. Can you run the football against that? They didn't. I think if Andy Reid would do it again, with everything being equal, I think he probably would have tried to lean a little bit more into the running game last year.
I still don't think they would have run.
I don't think they would have either, but I think they would have tried to maybe figure some other ways out, game plan, strategizing beforehand to try to get some openings in the run game, rather than, I think part of the plan was, if we hold up, we're gashing this team in some of these chunk plays that we're going to be able to get. And they had open receivers, they just didn't have time to throw and get to those guys. Does Andy Reid break tendency when this has been a team with Jesse Minute that they play light boxes? That's what they do. It was like, they were one of the highest rate light box defenses in the NFL last year. Chiefs were 31st in explosive run rate against light boxes. That cannot be the same. So I do wonder if there's an element of, well, I've been high on Mahomes, and I've got Mahomes' alternate line of 300 passing yards, and I think it's going to be a huge game for him. There's a part of me that wonders if Andy Reid early on is maybe approaching this as, we're not going to be a team that can't run the football the way that we struggled last year. And if that's what Kingsley does well, and Trey Smith is so good at, and they have a lackluster defensive line compared to last year, and their linebackers leave a lot to be desired, and they're playing 6 men in the box in light boxes, then we're going to punch them in the mouth, and that's what we're going to do. And when they come up to try to stop that, now we're going to go over the top. But we're almost going to play off the run, as opposed to playing off the RPO and the passing game and then running it from time to time.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing: is that in order to have explosive run plays, you've got to have an explosive back, and that's
or
the
huge
one
holes.
thing. And that's the one thing that, I mean, Isaiah Pacheco is a hard runner, but he's a straight line runner. I mean, it's the knock against him is just that he doesn't maintain his speed when he has to change directions or make a move. I mean, a straight line 40-yard dash, he's fast.
Yeah.
But it's just that when you have to be able to make them, when he gets up to speed, it's hard to stop. But if he's got to make a move, and that's why, you just don't, you haven't seen a lot of those big chunk plays from Pacheco in the past. It isn't all about offensive line. It's not all about the blocking. I mean, sometimes it's been your back. And last year, gets hurt. I mean, and then you were never going to get an explosive play again from that backfield, because even when Pacheco came back, he wasn't himself. Kareem Hunt is not an explosive back anymore. He's a short yardage back that can get you by with a little guile and savvy. But what I'm going to be interested in is that if the Chiefs work I'm assuming Brashard Smith is going to be the active running back tonight.
That was that was my next question.
And
You're
Elijah
so smart.
Mitchell will be inactive because Brashard Smith is, he's your second best returner.
Yeah, I was going to say return game.
In the return game, I think you want him and Nico Remigio back there on kick returns. And so in that situation, if Brashard Smith is your third back, do you want to mix him in there? I mean, that's the guy I would mix in there because you're talking about light boxes and you're talking about a guy who can make people miss and then have an explosive play. Brashard Smith is your explosive back.
I'd give him a couple of carries in this one just to see. I was going to ask you who you thought would be inactive tonight, so I'm glad you went there, Sterling.
Let me set a line for you guys.
Set it.
Over under 4.5 touches for Brashard Smith, not including special teams. 4.5.
I'm going to go under.
That's a really tough number.
I'm going to go under, and here's why. Because I do think there's an off chance that he's the inactive back, that they may week one Chargers.
It's a chance.
That they go, we're going to go with Elijah Mitchell and the more experienced guy. Although without Jalen Royals playing.
I think special teams you must have to have.
Because if Remigio goes down, they like Brashard Smith as your punt returner too. So I think he'll be active. But on the off chance he's inactive, I think I'm going to play the odds there and go under. I think he may get a reception and like a couple carries.
I really my brain is saying go under because I think he might only get maybe 1 or 2 carries tops. Might not even get any.
Yeah.
And then I think he's going to get a couple of touches in the passing game. I mean, I think they definitely want to throw the ball to him. I guess the question is going to be how much and how early do they want to use Brashard Smith? Because you might not want to show all that off quite yet.
That's a good point. And he may control his own destiny in that. Because if they give him a couple of carries and he has a chunk play or two, now you got to give him a couple more.
You're going to give him more.
You got to give him more. Unless you're Andy Reid and if you're winning the game and you give him some plays and a chunk play and you're like, let's go ahead and table that for next week. Let's go ahead and put that away for Baltimore or Buffalo or something else. I guess Buffalo's too far down the road, but Baltimore or the Eagles next week. But I also don't think this is a game to where if they think the division is going to be a little tougher this year, that you want to pocket some things that are working against the Chargers. I'll deal with next week. I'll get the win number 1 in the division to start off 1-0.
And then I start talking myself into the whole 3D chess thing and then say, okay, wait a minute. Maybe you want to show that. Maybe you want to put Brashard Smith out there, and then you want to split him out wide and see if you can't get a linebacker to follow him, and then just absolutely roast the Chargers.
Well, if you're going to do it this week, because next week's going to be tougher with Bond and Giad Campbell.
Sometimes you want to just show that stuff out there, so teams got to prepare for it and they got to be ready for it.
You may not be as successful against next week's linebackers in coverage that you will be with this week's linebackers in coverage. I'll just go ahead and I'll go out on a limb and say Bond and Campbell are going to be a little bit better at being able to cover a running back than what the Chargers will present tonight.
I did like your talk in regards to do the Chiefs try. And I know Andy typically does not. We always talk about it, and then he doesn't. But he has before. Like, one-off games he has against the Bills, that's the one that always stands out.
The COVID-moved game that they just handed it to
was it Clyde?
Clyde over
and he was great. And so he doesn't, 99% of the time, Andy, we say he should run it more. He doesn't, and they still win, so it doesn't matter. This might be one because you want to ease Kingsley in, and if you still have some concerns in the pass pro with Kingsley, he's a damn good run blocker. We've seen that already. Do you try, and not for the running game, not even for Patrick, but for Kingsley's confidence, do you try and run the ball earlier than you traditionally might without Joe Tooney being there?
I think the first play is going to be out of shotgun, take the snap, and hand it off to Pacheco. I'm going to go out on a limb here and go with what 70% of the first play for Andy Reid is shotgun, take the ball, Mahomes takes his right step back, and then hands it to the running back, and then he goes and tries to
play action that thing. If you did a flea flicker, no chance the Chargers are ready for that. Just do a flea flicker, Taekwon down there somewhere.
It's got to be.
Got no problems. I mean, come on. You're going to...
Let's have some fun.
I mean, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, Andy Reid, I think in a game like this particularly, Andy Reid's going to be Andy Reid. I don't think that he's going to go just too far crazy.
Not Mike McDaniels. He's not going to...
Don't think that's going to be the case.
They're going to wear capris down there in Brazil to really switch it up.
Not Staley.
Yeah.
Don't think he's going to go for it on 4th and 2 from his own 35 or anything, but...
Grow a pair, Andy. You know what I mean?
Whoa!
Yeah. Try it with your nuggies next time. You know?
I think Andy's going to Andy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think there's absolutely things that they want to establish and things that they want to get done. Usually, and here's the thing. I mean, usually when the Chiefs get into a game where they run the football a lot, it's for a reason. Sometimes it's opponent specific. Sometimes it's just simply that, they've already established a pattern where maybe they haven't been running the football effectively. And now Andy just wants to go out there and put a boot up everybody and say, hey, we're going to be a physical, hard-nosed team right now and do this. It doesn't normally do that in the first week of the season. And that's why I'm thinking,
Should point out that Buffalo game, too, when they gave it to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the weather was pretty nasty. And that was one to where, like, McCole Hardman had 2 touches and dropped both footballs. And it was just an odd game, odd timing. Things got moved around. And that felt like a let's get in, let's get out. This is working. Hand the ball off. Let's go home.
And those are always games. I mean, when the Chiefs have one of those games where they just turn over to the run game and they try to establish it, I mean, it's purposeful.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember, I think it was it 20, it was that, all my years run together, probably 18, probably 19. When they went the last game in Oakland, but, it was what, they won 28.
Yeah, they were down 14-0, and then they scored 4 touchdowns in the second quarter.
This is the one where they just ran over the Raiders, and DeMarcus Robinson had a big game and everything, but they were up like 28-0 early and just coasted. But then but they only ran for like 28 yards, I think, that day. And then I think that
was the
week,
4-touchdown second quarter, maybe.
Yeah, it was the four touchdown second quarter. And then they went out there the following week because they had not run the ball. And then that week at practice, that following week was, it was brutal on that offensive line. It was like, you guys are going to go out there and you're going to run the football, and this is going to be a physical week. And then they, I think, went out and like put 200 yards on somebody, something crazy like that. That's when Andy Reid, gets out of character. I can't see it in week 1. I just can't see him getting – and because, once again, they've got things that they want to figure out, and they want to figure it out before the Eagles. They may have some things that they want to show the Eagles just to make sure that they're watching it. Yeah. But they're going to put this game into Mahomes' hands. There's no doubt about it.
So let's get into – and we'll take a time out and get your prediction here. But also news coming along about 15 minutes ago, Chris Rim covering the Chargers saying that Mekhi Becton with an illness is now questionable for tonight's game with an illness.
That's the last thing the Chargers offensive line needs.
No doubt, because you've got Bozeman, who's one of the worst pass-blocking centers, and you've got Pipkins that is moving out to right tackle, and you've got Zion Johnson that's one of the is generic in pass-blocking guards, and Becton was your big addition in the interior because that's where they were really lacking last year. That's their only improvement. And if he doesn't play, that's going to be rough. Disadvantage for the Chiefs tonight. Is it just run defense and Chargers wanting to run the ball? Is there somewhere else, or is that the main one?
That's the main one. I mean, I have no idea what the Chiefs are going to look like up the middle against the run.
Yeah.
I think you're cautiously optimistic because in that Seattle game, obviously the Chiefs didn't play a lot of their starters. Now, even when their starters were in there during the preseason, they struggled against the run. But I think you're hopeful if you're the Chiefs that at least your second level of run defense is better than your first. So, hey, if you do get beat at the point of attack, you're occasionally going to give up the 5-yard run. You're just hopeful that your linebackers aren't going to turn it into a 12-yard run. And your starters shouldn't do that. But once again, you talk about light boxes. The Chiefs, they love to play a safety in the box, so it's just a little bit lighter than a linebacker. So, hey, is there an opportunity for the Chargers there to run the football? Yeah, there is.
Do you take the approach, Steve Spagnuolo, does he take the approach of we're going to have the game plan that we had against the Eagles? That game plan clearly was Saquon Barkley's not going to beat us. He had 25 carries for 60 yards or whatever in the game. He was not effective. The running came from Jalen Hurts on scrambles. He had 72 yards in the game against the Chiefs on 11 carries. But that was in passing situations, and they have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert, and even throw in Jahan Dotson, who had a good game last night, versus the Chargers' 2 best receivers are both slot in Ladd and Keenan Allen. Trey Harris is a rookie that they feel like hasn't acclimated as quickly as they were hoping he would by being a high second-round draft pick. Quentin Johnston is Quentin Johnston. They don't have the receivers and Justin Herbert doesn't offer the scrambling that Jalen Hurts does. Any chance they take the Eagles approach and go, we're approaching this game like we did the Eagles, that running back ain't going to hurt us, and if the quarterback and receivers beat us, then we'll tip our cap. But you can't expect them to beat you the way that the Eagles did last year because I'm putting Trent McDuffie on Ladd McConkey and calling it a day.
I mean, and the Chargers, they're well coached, and here's what I would do. I would borrow the Andy Reid philosophy, which is that if you are going to run the football and you're going to attack a defense that you think is susceptible against the run, you don't run at the weakness. You run at the strength. So if I'm the Chargers, I'm running at Chris Jones because you know what? If you take Chris Jones out of the equation, who else is going to stop you?
Let's run right
that's
at Derek
the
Thomas.
thing. You run right at Ray Rice. You know, you just run straight at the strength of that defense. And if, like I said, if you take out Chris Jones, everything else is easy. I mean, now you can really start going downhill. So if Spags is countering that, and let's face it, I mean, anytime a coach, boy, when you start blowing smoke about somebody and everything, you're telling me that that's not your focus. I mean, when he's saying all 22 eyes are on Ladd McConkey this week, I mean, Ladd McConkey's good, and you do not want
I love
him
that
to
he was
beat
like,
you.
I don't know what my eyes on him is going to help our defense. I know Chris Jones said that. That was great. I think, speaking of 22, when he says 22 on Ladd McConkey, McDuffie.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, is that
that's the 22 that should be on Ladd McConkey.
That's the 22,
and call it a day.
Maybe that was a subtle hit. Maybe
is that a Taylor Swift Easter egg?
Maybe it was an Easter egg. I don't know.
I'm telling you, just put McDuffie on. McConkey plays in the slot most of the time anyway. McDuffie's amazing in the slot. Put him on there, and then figure out Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston with the other guys that you have with Christian Fulton.
Yeah.
Put McDuffie on Ladd McConkey and call it a day. And then stop the run. Yeah. Strangle him. Suffocate him. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we'll get Matt Derrick's prediction on this game, what the record's going to be for the Chiefs, and maybe a quick Mizzou KU breakdown as that game played in Columbia tomorrow. More Zone coming up next. All right, Matt, what do you think of this matchup tonight? What do you think happens in Brazil? Chiefs, latest I saw was 3. I'll go and check while you're talking to see if that thing still sits at 3.
Well, if Mekhi Becton and some other Chargers continue to drink the water, could just continue to go further in the Chiefs' favor. I mean, I'm encouraged by the Chiefs' offense. I think they're going to be able to score some points. I think they're going to be effective. Question is going to be, can the Chiefs' defense stop the Chargers at all? If the Chargers decide to run the ball, which I would if I were them and try it out, I think that they can move the football. And the Chiefs play nothing but one-score games, so until they stop playing one-score games, at least winning one-score games, they can lose games that are not one-score. They can lose games that are like 5-score games, but I don't think this is going to be one of those. I don't think this is going to be a 5-score game. But I think both these offenses, I think, are going to go up and down the field, be really interesting. I mean, there are X factors. Hey, are the Chiefs just bodies going to be wasted from this 2 hour and a half hour drive to the game? Who knows? What will the field conditions be like? Is it going to be as dewy as it was last year on the field, and everybody's slipping and sliding all over the place? There's things that can happen that you just don't know and expect. But I'm going with the Chiefs, 31-27, one-score game.
31-27. It could be a double-digit game if, or a what you said, a 5-score game. Could be a 5-score game if they're all safeties. You know what I mean? Because then it could be a 10-point game.
10-point game. And
all safe. That's a 5-score game if they're all safeties.
Fair enough.
What's the Chiefs' record this year? What do you have them at?
I mean, I feel like that the last couple of years they've been a 13-4 team. That one year happened to go through bad luck, 11-6, and one year got lucky and went 15-2. I think they're still a 13-4 team, so I'm going with 13-4.
Who's your Super Bowl champion, and who do they beat in the Super Bowls?
I'm actually finishing up a piece today,
Okay.
and I'm vacillating because there's part of me. And last night,
vacillating.
It's different than oscillating.
Yeah, good word.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever heard vacillating before.
It's like lag and drag. It's different.
I mean, there's always a chance that I just made it up. So
vacillating.
you gotta check and make sure. But we're oscillating. I think I'd be spinning in a circle.
I know.
Wow, no, you're correct. Vacillating, alternate or waver between different opinions, actions, or be indecisive.
There you go. I mean, occasionally, my 500 ACT score shows up, and but. And see, once again, the brain fog. I don't even know where I was vacillating.
You're vacillating with your piece later today.
I mean, there's part of me that wants that is predictable and thinks, okay, you know what? The two best teams on paper, theoretically, might be the Chiefs and the Eagles. But and last night was kind of proof of this. I just think the Eagles are going to take a step back. I mean, Cowboys shouldn't have been in that game, and it was a weird game. There's not a lot you can learn from it, but I just don't. I mean, the Eagles just feel like that they are primed for a hangover year. I just don't think that Nick Sirianni's a good enough coach to keep them from having a hangover year. So, but then I just can't go with the other option is to go with the trendy pick, which is Chiefs over Packers.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a trendy one.
And
Packers.
I'm just not sure if I'm enough of a sheep to do that. So
you're going Chiefs over. You just haven't figured out the over.
Chiefs over somebody. I'll tell you what. My third sleeper team might be the Commanders. I think I would take the Commanders over anybody else. I mean,
okay. We'll see what but you do have the Chiefs winning. We'll see who you end up picking.
I'm gonna go Chiefs.
We'll see who you end up picking
until you knock off the King.
Yeah.
Until week 13 or 14, then he'll give you the NFC opponent. He's gonna.
That's right.
Then he'll really.
I'm gonna give you the NFC opponent this afternoon, but it'll be
yes.
What? I mean,
when you but look at ChiefsDigest.com and we'll find out what it is.
I really am. I'm over the Eagles, so it's going to be do I be a sheep and go Packers, or do I go with my gut and say Commanders?
Be a lion.
Maybe it's Detroit. Maybe
Detroit could maybe finally get over the hump.
What do you think about tomorrow, 2:30? Do you have a feel on this one? 6-point game, Missouri favored 6.5.
Even though it was Central Arkansas, I was impressed with elements of the Mizzou's offense last week. I was impressed with Bo Pribula. There was a couple of things that he had problems with. He missed a couple of absolutely wide open receivers, just decision wise. It wasn't bad throws. He just didn't see them. So there's some worries there. This defense, I think, it's looked like it's rebuilt a little bit. Jalen Daniels is the X factor, but MIZ, I'm going with the Tigers. I think I'm going to say they even cover.
Okay. Mizzou wins and covers, according to Matt Derrick. So the Chiefs win and cover the 3 points. Mizzou wins and covers the 6.5 points.
And
So,
and my DraftKings account with $20 in it, we'll see how it's doing.
Thank you, Matt. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you here on this Friday, Red Friday edition. Hanging out with Kendall Gammon, joining us here in the zone. Kendall, what's up, brother? How are you?
Nothing. I'm good. It's about time. Let's get this
doubt.
season started. And Sterling, I'm going to say it on air. Well played with Red Friday.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's got the full Unreal jumpsuit on.
I know you've talked about this already, I'm sure.
Yeah,
we haven't yet.
Actually, we have not yet. Yeah.
No.
Even got the old Allen Iverson Reeboks.
Wow, good for you, dude.
The old school.
I mean, because up to now, we've been talking about preseason.
I know.
Preseason, man.
Not a game.
Not a game. Preseason.
I love that. We're talking about camp.
Practice. Not a game I live for. I die for.
Yeah.
The practice? Psh, please.
Kendall Gammon, the world's greatest long snapper, presented by Crown Toyota, Crown Volkswagen, recognized as the #1 place to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle. Visit crownautomotive.com to see the latest deals. Experience the Crown difference. Kendall, what's the feeling around the NFL with these players and certainly the Chiefs, as you've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and everything has been about a build-up and a crescendo to this, to now? All right, it's finally arrived. Week 1 is today. What's the feeling? Can you hold back your excitement and energy to save for the game, or how difficult is that the day of?
It is difficult. There's no doubt about it. And for them, it's a 9 o'clock game, right?
Yeah.
Awful. Hate that. I mean, when I played, I hated night games because you're waiting the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about the preseason, I mean, Kelsey, Mahomes, those guys, they're not real concerned about making the team. They're just trying to get ready. But a high percentage of guys were like myself, where you're on the chopping block every year. So you're stressed constantly throughout training camp. And then when you make the team, you're like, oh, thank goodness. Okay, here comes the game. I got to get ready for this, because if we make a bad snap, we're probably not going to be on the team the next day. So it is tough. But I also remember just vividly, opening day, no matter where it was, it's a special feeling, because you know there's about 1,500 people that play football a year, I think. I mean, it's rare air, and to get there and have a chance is awesome.
And you only get so many a year,
right?
You know, and you don't know how healthy you'll be in so many of those games. You know, it's probably got to be a pretty special feeling to begin the season if you feel good and feel healthy going into a game, because that may be the last game you feel like that as the season goes along.
There's no doubt
once you start
that.
playing. Kendall Gammon is our guest. He's presented by Crown Toyota, Crown Volkswagen. When's the last time you spit on a player in a game?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I think if there's any footage of me spitting on a player, I think I'd be more than a little bit surprised. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
I don't know what prompts somebody to do that. The decision there, and as soon as he did it, like he's walking off the field, like, and he was saying, "Come on, man." I think he was saying that to himself.
Yeah,
because in the locker room after the game, he took all credit where credit is due.
Did he step up and talk?
Like, he made a mistake that's dumb, but after the mistake, all you can do then is try to own up to it.
Yep.
And he did. And he was like, it was all on my side. And they said, well, Dak, sort of spit near you. He was like, no. He's like, no, it's me. It's me. It was a dumb decision, and I talked to the guys and the boys, and it'll never happen again.
Right? Yeah,
it's never happen again. I made a promise that it was a dumb decision. It was really stupid, but immediately, I mean, how dumb it is, and all you can do from that point is not make it. He could have made an excuse and said, well, Dak spit at me, so I spit back.
Right.
It's like, no, that had nothing to do with it. This is all me.
You get emotional at times, and sometimes you just don't think before things happen. That's how a lot of those unsportsmanlike penalties happen. I think Dak did a nice job of how he handled it with everything, with a lot of class, and much more of a ball game than I thought it would be. I didn't honestly sit down and watch a lot. I try, if it's not the Chiefs, because it has been the last 3 years. I made this little pact. Well, the first game that I'm going to watch of the season intently is going to be the Chiefs. So this was the first game. So I didn't watch it as intently. But tonight,
I made that pact growing up that the first Super Bowl I attended would be the one that the Chiefs are playing in. So the first Super Bowl I ever went to was in Miami in the 2019 season. 2020 would not go to a Super Bowl until they played in it. So I was able to do that because they did play in one in my lifetime. Thankfully, was the case.
Yeah.
I always think the dumbest ones, though, are when the players punch other players in the helmet. And I'm like, they're wearing a helmet. That is going to break your hand. Where do you think that your hand is going to hit?
Yeah.
That helmet is much harder than your hand.
I think I've told this story before, but I remember like the first few practices of training camp at Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh Steelers, and I do something to Greg Lloyd, and and
That was
he
smart.
gets ticked about it, and he's hitting me. I'm like, really? I mean, we got, to your point, we've got helmet and pads on, really? But I was like, okay. And so we went at it for a while, and
who won?
It is what it is. Nobody wins with pads on. I mean, seriously.
So
I mean, we got separated a little bit, and he's saying some choice words. And let's be honest, he had an orange jumpsuit on later on in his life. So he's one of the. I say it all the time. He's the most violent player I've ever been around in my life, and one of the best also. But it's interesting. The next play, fortunately, as a left guard, I got to pull. And I just took as cheap a shot as I could at him because you don't cut in practice. So I promptly cut him. And we got in a little more of a fight. And then the next day he actually kind of apologized in the way that he could. And we kind of went about our life.
Was there, let me ask you, was there in an odd way, people view their teammates that are opponents during practice certain ways? Was there a level of respect that he gained because you stood back up right to him on the very next play? Even though it might have been cutting and as you said, a little cheap, but
it was really cheap. Yes.
He didn't back down. He didn't turtle up. He didn't shrink away. He came right back at me. So you know what? Hey, respect.
Right. I think so to a degree. Now, when he first came after me, the first play, I just stood there because I was in the huddle because it was just like, I got my helmet on, my pads. You're not going to do anything to me. And he thumped me a couple times, and I didn't come back at him that time. And then my offensive linemen are goading me, and he's like, dude, you can't let that happen. So that's when we went ahead and took the shot and everything. And again, that's, I think, what came out the next day with it is he just kind of looked back at it. But again, that's somebody being very, very intense, and it happens.
Yeah, I remember I got to know Will Perdue pretty well, and his time with the Chicago Bulls, and he tells a story about when he got in a fight with Michael Jordan at practice, the time that Michael Jordan punched him in practice. And it was Will Perdue was supposed to come up and set the screen, and it's practice, and he set the screen. And to Mike, it was a little too hard. And so Mike let him know about it. And so the next time that he was setting the screen, Will said, I'm not backing down. I'm going to set the screen as hard next time. And he did. And Mike turned around and just punched him right in the face, and they went at it and just started fighting there.
Oh,
and
man.
the rookie center doesn't set a screen that hard on Michael Jordan in practice if you want to live to tell about it. But he also said, like, at that point, there was the rookie was not backing down just because it was Mike, and he turns and punches him, and the rookie comes right back at him. Now, Mike always made fun of him and never called him Will Perdue. Because Will Perdue went to Vanderbilt, so we called him Will Vanderbilt because he told him he wasn't good enough to play in the Big Ten. So I won't call you Will Perdue.
That's funny.
You went to Vanderbilt.
I think the Stars have such, when I say ego, in a good sense of things, and they have a temper and whatever thing. It reminds me of a story. I'm going to go basketball a little bit, but Scotty Wedman, who played for the Celtics.
I wonder if this is a story. I think I know
you
this.
Probably know. I don't know. It's the one, and he was teammates with Larry Bird, and it's amazing to talk to him. And you know him better than I do, but I've known him for quite a while. We're good friends with he and Kimmy, and just a wonderful person. But we're talking about something. He's telling me about one game sometime that Larry Bird was hurt a little bit, and he was in the lineup, and he ended up being the top scorer in the game and helped them win the game. And Larry was like, good job. That'll never happen again.
I think it was the newspapers. I think he said he came to the newspaper. He said, "Hey, good job. That's never going to happen again."
Yeah, exactly.
Showed him the newspaper.
Exactly right. That's my job.
I think he was on the front page of the newspaper. It was like, Wedman leads, Celtics
Was
will
he
win.
saying it was never going to happen again because I won't be injured and I'll be in there? It's never going to happen again because you're not good enough for it to happen again. What was the meaning behind it? I'm
I think
curious.
that just the meaning is, I'm Larry Bird, and I scored the most points at all times.
Yeah, I'll be the one scoring it. Not that you'll never have a podium game, but I'm going to make sure that I'm the guy that's going to be scoring the points.
I forgot about the fact that you played for Scotty. And he did tell me that when you got off the bus, you were open. There was never a shot you turned down.
That is very true. I've never seen a bad shot.
Sterling's favorite play was the give and go. Give it to me and go away.
I always laugh. I always said, I loved your philosophy of a bad shot's better than a turnover. He goes,
that's what I tell my son.
He goes, I never said that. Oh. And I was like, I've lived my whole basketball life, my whole motto, attributing that to Scott of hey, you know what? A bad shot's better than a turnover. And so, he never said that.
I feel like it's Talladega Nights. He's like, remember, Dad, if you ain't first, you're last. Well, hell, that's dumb. You can be second, third. Dad, my whole life I've lived my motto by if you're not first, you're last.
I've lived my whole motto of, if I might be a little contested and It's gonna go up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna turn it over. I'm not. At least I'm getting a shot up here. Come on.
You know what? I told my son, like, as you grow up, I mean, little kids, they'll take a shot, but if something's in their face, they'll hold it back, and then it'll be a travel, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's better for you to get your shot blocked than travel.
Right.
He might foul you, but don't just hold it and come back down.
Right.
A good shot's better than a live ball, especially a live ball turnover.
Yeah.
If it's a dead ball turnover, okay, get back on defense.
Right.
But live ball turnovers, you'd rather just punt it into the stands rather than turn it over. But yeah, the give and go for Sterling, his favorite one. Scotty also told me that Sterling's he was very he could interchangeable is what he was. It was like positionless basketball for Sterling. He played guard, center, and forward. That you sat in the center of the bench, you guarded the water, and you looked forward to playing.
That was nails.
There we go.
Yeah,
very good.
Interchangeable.
Absolutely.
Every position on the floor, he was able to play.
And of course, no. Couldn't see that one coming.
I didn't telegraph that one ahead of time.
Not at all.
That ball was picked off. That was in the air for a while.
Darn it. Shoot.
My motto was always, I'm not big, but I'm slow.
Yeah, that's right. But I got a bad back as well, so I make up for it.
With lack of effort.
With the bad back.
Yes.
Kendall Gammon is our guest. Kendall, what do you think of the international games? Did you play in a game that you traveled and did something like this? And if not, would you have liked to have done this?
I would have liked to have done it to this degree. I was a part of two teams. I had a hurt foot for the second one in Japan, but I went to Barcelona one year and went to Japan in the preseason when they were doing that, just kind of the precursor to everything. And so, to talk about the trip and everything down to Sao Paulo, I mean, for us over to Japan, it was 13 hours, and that was pretty intense for sure. Yep.
How was that? Go ahead, Sir.
No, I was going to say, I guess for a player, one, the travel is obviously hard, but it's not like you get to really experience the country and all that stuff because you're not there for a week. You're there they get there Wednesday, right? They flew Wednesday.
They got there Wednesday at 11 o'clock at
night. You're trying to sleep in. Thursday, you're going to have the walkthrough.
Thursday walkthrough,
and then you have
press
the game.
conferences.
Yeah. So it's not like you get to really go and experience.
The first time they see the stadium will be tomorrow when they arrive.
Yeah, I've always wondered, if you're a player.
Or today, excuse me.
I think that has to be so hard. I don't know why you'd enjoy it because you don't get to experience any of the culture, any of the country itself.
Well, you're right. Now mine were preseason, and when we went to Barcelona, we actually went early on a Monday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or a Tuesday, and not only that is we were done by 1:30. The days that we practiced, and normally you're not done until 10 at night and whatever. So it was fabulous in Barcelona. Japan, we just went in. We literally flew overnight, got there, went straight to the practice field. We were told that's you start getting your rhythm going and everything. And so we were there, we practiced, and we played the game, and then we got out. So that one was different from the first.
Yeah, last year, the Packers tried to make it to, hey, we're going to make this to where we're going to go down there and we're going to be in Brazil for 4 or 5 days, so we're just used to being there. And unfortunately, they get down there 5 days before, and then they find out you can't leave the hotel because we don't have security to protect you. So they ended up staying 5 days just in their hotel down there. So it wasn't like hey, you're in Barcelona, go enjoy yourself, and while you're here, this is nice. You go to the Super Bowl, you're in New Orleans, you got a couple days while you're down there during the day to go and walk around and be with your family and Vegas and stuff like that.
You just see dudes meandering the street down in New Orleans.
Yeah, Todd and I were talking about it. Last year we were heading over to the Chiefs Hotel, just walking by. It was a downtime. They didn't have a press conference, and we're walking, and we're about a block and a half away, and we see Juju and his family walking towards us. He's wearing sweatpants and a shirt, and people are just walking by. Do they know that's Juju Smith-Schuster right there? Just walking by.
That was my career, by the way.
But it was like, you can't do that. The Chiefs aren't doing that. Packers couldn't do that last year. Chargers aren't doing that. And I think the Packers' experience is to why Andy's like, no, our travel day is Wednesday. We'll get there Thursday. We'll have our walkthrough press conference, play the game Friday, come back Saturday morning. This ain't a trip to experience. This is a business trip. It's a game, and we can't do anything outside of being at the hotel anyway.
No, you're right. And I called the games in London and also Mexico City.
Yeah, that's right.
I was around that, and Andy had done some research on how teams did if they went in early, like on a Monday or Tuesday versus a Thursday, get their practice, play, and go. And he came up with this routine, just going there like you're talking about, made the most sense. Now, as far as Brazil and the security, I'm a little bit surprised last year that they didn't know about that, or they just didn't pay attention, because as I understand from some sources that I'm pretty comfortable with, it was either 2 or 3 years ago, they were going to play a game in Brazil, and then because of security issues and they didn't feel like it was safe to go in, and so they canceled that before it even happened. So it is something you have to deal with. There's no doubt about it. But that being said, the NFL is out for the world. I say it all the time, but it is true, which is the NFL's motto is, I don't want the world, I just want your half.
Kendall Gammon is our guest. I love this. I love the lines that you give us that are unexpected. It's so fantastic. Crown Toyota, Crown Volkswagen presenting Kendall Gammon. Kendall, what do you think of this matchup? It's Chargers-Chiefs. It was close game both times. The Chiefs win last year in L.A., but lose Rashee Rice. They win in Kansas City with a doink off the upright with their third kicker in Matthew Wright. What do you make of this matchup that seems to be pretty closely contested with Jim Harbaugh, Andy Reid in the two matchups so far?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs have won maybe 9 straight. The last 3 has been whoever scored a touchdown in the last 5 or 6 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes. The Chiefs are the better team. It's a division game. I don't think either team is really, if truth be known, happy about being down there and playing this type of game, because for the Chargers, you want a home game if it's the Chiefs, and you want that advantage. For the Chiefs, they just didn't want to travel that way, considering what else they have going on this year. But I think it all hinges, quite honestly, on, and it's not like I'm splitting atoms here, on protecting, Patrick. And if you can do that and get some, I think, confidence going in that offensive line, I think the sky's the limit. I just think this team is built as good as they've been built for quite some time. They got a few things to prove, but I like how the defense is playing. I loved what we saw from the offense in the last preseason game. But again, if I'm the Chargers, I'm throwing every stunt that you can ever think about. I think we heard Matt talking about it earlier at the left side to see if they can handle it. And I don't care if he is 34. Khalil Mack can still bring it. Has he lost a step? Yeah, but he was 3 steps faster than people to begin with, so now he's only 2 steps faster. And to go against a rookie, I don't know. I had a chance to talk to a few stringers in Los Angeles about the Chargers here in the last couple of days, and they just talked about the mood around the facility and Harbaugh in the second year and everything. They just feel good about things. They are naturally excited. I was surprised to see that this is the first year in quite some time that even though the Chargers didn't make the playoffs, they weren't picked to win the Super Bowl the next year. I mean, it's always amazing to me. When you look at the Chiefs and 9 straight division titles, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I actually think it's interesting because there's less pressure, I think, on the Chargers this year than in past seasons, where it felt like as you mentioned, the offseason expectations have always been greater than the on-field results for the Chargers, and it feels like the Broncos have almost passed them in that regard this year. It feels like they are picked by a lot of folks to finish third in the AFC West.
See, I would wonder, does that increase the pressure almost on the Chargers, because it was like the Chargers were the ones that were going to match with the Chiefs. The Chargers were it was Herbert and it was Patrick Mahomes, and the Raiders were figuring things out and not really. And the Broncos had the whole disaster of Russell Wilson and their coaching turnover, and it was the Chargers and Chiefs. And now Chargers, lose to Houston last year, and you've got Harbaugh in year 1, now Harbaugh year 2, and it almost feels like the Broncos have surpassed, like you said, to where are the Chargers now looking and saying, well, we've got to reestablish, as if it's not the Chiefs, it's the Chargers. Are we now the 3rd best team in the division? You know what I mean?
But I think expectations, though, were just too high for them. I think that just added so much pressure on them to try and be great when they were not in the same class as KC.
Yeah.
I don't think they're in the same class as KC, but I think the Chargers are still better than the Broncos.
It's been 7 straight for the Chiefs over the Chargers.
Oh, 7, not 9, okay.
Yeah, 7 straight.
7, okay.
The last one was 2021, coming off the Super Bowl loss to the Bucs when the Chiefs had that rough start when they were like 1-3, 2-4, something like that to start the season, and one of those was that loss to the Chargers. But they've won every game since then. And 3 straight Super Bowl. I guess they lost to the Bengals that year. Yeah. But 3 straight Super Bowls since that particular year. So it's been 7 straight, and 2 of those with Jim Harbaugh. But they were much more competitive in these last 2 matchups.
Harbaugh's a great coach, and he'll get them going. There's no doubt about that. Now, I'm curious. You'd have to look it up. I could be wrong. Every year I talk about, well, they got Justin Herbert, but I want to say his overall record is just 3 or 4 games over 500, is something to that degree. When somebody told me that, I was amazed, if I'm correct with that, because I think
41-38.
Yeah, I mean, I would have guessed that it was better than that, and I think he's a franchise QB, but it has not translated. That's for sure.
Yeah,
he went 6-9 his rookie year, and then 9-8, then 10-7. And then in 23 was a disaster, 5-8, and he also got introduced playing through a lot of injuries that year too.
Right. Oh, that rib injury.
Yeah, and so 23 really hurt that record, and then he went 11-6 last year. It's almost the hype. He's been the definition of the Chargers.
And he's only played in 2 playoff games,
right?
And he's 0-2.
But he's very Chargers-esque, where the hypothetical is greater than the output.
Yep.
Where it's like the thought of Justin Herbert's great. You have the size, 6'6", you have the arm strength, the accuracy, some mobility. But then the results haven't quite been there, and everyone's left wondering, why haven't they? He is the definition of a Chargers quarterback because he's the Chargers organization. They are the same.
Yeah, but you know what you look and see isn't always what you get. And case in point, at my heaviest, I was 310. I was a backup guard and center. I actually played some tackle, but I was below average on my best days, and I was just as strong as people, just as big, but boy, the talent and what you have and some of the things that you can't coach, I did not have. And I don't know if that's the case with him, but he's not what he looks like so far. That being said, I love watching him play, and I think he's tough. We'll see if having Harbaugh will make a difference, and it probably will.
Since the Chargers took the 27-7 lead in the Jags in that first playoff game, in the 6 quarters since then, they were outscored 56-15 in the playoff game. So they played 2 playoff games, took a 27-7 lead at halftime in the first playoff game. The final 2 quarters of that, and then last year against Houston in the 4 quarters, the score has been 56-15. The 56 is a problem, but the 15 is also a problem. Offensively for the Chargers. So because they scored only 3. And Herbert had those interceptions, so they scored only 3 against the Jags in the second half there, and then just got the doors blown off by the Houston Texans last year by 20, 21 points, whatever that was. So we'll find out what goes on tonight. What do you think the keys of the game are besides don't turn it over and don't hurt yourself?
Yeah, exactly. I think I feel like the Chargers, considering who they drafted, they want to run the ball and feel like they can run the ball effectively. If they do, I think that's their best chance to get things going. And then, again, not splitting atoms there. I think that's the big thing. And then I just think of the other side of the ball. Keep Mahomes clean. If he becomes more of a pocket passer and feels comfortable with the stuff, I just think he'll pick people apart. I think Travis, I think he's going to have a breakout year. I would take the over on everything with him. I just think what I've seen, he's good to go. I do think this is his last year. Nobody's told me that. I have no reason to think that except that I do. And then special teams has to be crisp because that's the one thing, the one phase of the game that no matter what coach I played for, Dick Kau, Vermeil, Herm, I mean, they always preach you have to win that phase of the game, and then you just need to win at least one of the other 2 phases.
When it comes to long snapping, was it ever different on – did your technique have to change, turf versus grass versus any other? Is all the same?
Nope, it did not. For the most part, it was the same. The only time that things changed sometimes was when it was really, really cold or wet. Okay. And I remember we played a game in Oakland where literally, and people don't always believe me, but we got like 6.5 inches of rain in like an hour and a half time to where during the game, when I was snapping, I was holding the ball up out of the water, but just barely touching the water because I didn't want to pull it through like 4 inches of water, which is crazy.
Insane, yeah.
And I needed a stiff drink after that game. I'm not gonna lie. I was stressed.
Hey, we got some Cutwater here.
Yes, exactly.
We got some Cutwater,
right.
some margaritas.
That is my favorite, by the way.
The Cutwater lime margarita. You want one? I got some cold ones in the fridge.
I'm trying to cut back at 12:28 on a Friday.
What about 12:30?
Well, it's 5 o'clock in
Brazil.
There you go. Boom.
And that's 2:30 in Brazil. So
close enough.
At 3 o'clock today, it'll be 5 o'clock in Brazil. So I mean, it's it's a happy all days. It's a Red Friday. There's no such thing as too early.
It's funny. I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I went in and I didn't have this on, and the receptionist is like, "Really?" And I was like, "What?
What's your deal, dude?"
She's like, "It's a Red Friday." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I mean, so I had to go home and get this before I came and see you guys, even though I didn't measure up.
Yeah, well, because Sterling had to go over the top with so many different things. It
doesn't sound like me.
He's got a red suit that is spot on as well.
Yeah, I do.
I saw that at the Ambassadors Gala.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was.
It was fun.
So, do you have a final score?
I
in
do.
mind?
I feel like it's going to be 27-24 with that last score coming towards the end. So, not actually being as close as it sounds.
All right, we'll see what ends up happening. Kendall, you're the man, brother. I cannot believe we're here. We're ready to go. Week 1, and when we talk next week, week 1 in the books, and we'll be getting ready for the Eagles and Chiefs rematch.
I appreciate it. Glad to be back.
Absolutely. There's Kendall Gammon. Each and every week he joins us. He is presented by Crown Toyota, Crown Volkswagen, recognized as the #1 place to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle. Visit crownautomotive.com to see the latest deals. Experience the Crown difference. We love experiencing the difference with Kendall Gammon joining us. We'll take a timeout, come back. More Zone next. Thank you to Kendall Gammon joining us. Breaking down the Chiefs and the Chargers. Chiefs, Chargers, Brazil, tonight. Central Big pregame show at 5 o'clock right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Red and Gold postgame show with Jack Johnson. The best postgame show you're going to hear. It is right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Immediately after the game is over, with all of the breakdown and 35, 40 minutes less of commercials an hour. Mick Schaefer hanging out with us, presented by Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Hello, Mick.
Here's what you do.
What's that?
You turn on Sports Radio 810.
That's right.
On your radio.
100%.
Then on your TV, you turn on KSH. Just keep it on KSHB.
That's actually what I do.
41. And then you see if the voices ever match up with the mouth. Maybe I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying Patrick Mahomes the same time Jack Johnson's saying Patrick Mahomes.
That would be really crazy. I actually do that. So I immediately turn my phone on, the app, when the game's over, to listen to the breakdown of Jack. I keep it on KSHB41.
You don't have a big boom box in your room or anything like that?
You
old
know,
school radio?
I don't. I typically walk around it with on my shoulder.
A tuner? Yes.
I do have an old school radio that I sometimes bust out.
I'm not surprised by that.
It's like a 1960s, 70s style one. I tried an old one, like a big one that used to like sit around like with the family back in the day.
Yeah.
I kind of caught it on fire a little bit. A little bit of a fire situation happened.
Kind of caught it on fire a little bit?
Yeah, because houses these days have so much voltage and amp wattage, I believe is the correct terminology here. Back in the day, they didn't have that.
No.
So when you plugged it into an outlet back in the day, they worked. You actually needed a de-amplifier to plug in some of these bigger old school radios. And so I did it. And this was a while ago, and it caught fire.
Sparked?
The tubes, it sparked, and I had to bring it outside. My wife was at one point like, What are you doing? I'm like, don't worry, it's fine. And she sees me carry this outside, and then I carry a fire extinguisher, outside, just to be sure. We got it out though, we're good. So now that one, the big one's just just to look at.
Okay.
But the small one, I do have one, so I do listen to sometimes Jack on that bad boy.
Okay. Yeah. Little Amos and Andy. Are you listening to Gunsmoke? Like you and the family sitting around the talkie.
shadow knows.
Yeah, sitting around the radio, the talkie.
No, it's President
Jack Benny?
FDR, President Roosevelt.
Yeah, it was
They were listening to his
Roosevelt.
fireside chats.
We occasionally would just listen to the Honeymooners. We couldn't watch the Honeymooners.
yeah.
We just
Okay, that
listened
makes
to
sense.
all right
Yeah.
to the moon.
To the moon. What's he talking
To the
about
moon,
there?
Alice.
I wonder what he's talking about.
He says right in the kisser, and I think he's going to kiss her,
Yeah,
like with
that's
his
it.
lips
It's
to
like
her
pow, lips to
Yeah.
lips.
Yes.
Totally acceptable.
And
All love, no spousal abuse.
I do like
hilarious.
I do like watching 41 with you on it on mute. I do that.
Thank you.
A
I'll
good
take
amount.
it. Eye candy.
Yeah,
Really?
you had a
he's there
great
for.
suit last time.
That's what he's there for, man.
Appreciate that.
Do you drink your Ovaltine while you sit around and listen to the radio?
It's good for
Sterling?
your bones.
I didn't know. Didn't know if maybe you did that.
There's and he's
choice.
got the leg lamp and everything there. I am
Fragile.
I'm excited.
It's a major award.
I'm going to be a chicken and pickle all day and night. And so that's where our shows are emanating from.
What if I just went up there and I stood behind you and I did the jerk thing, like making different, waving behind the camera?
You would have to get in line. Okay? 'Cause
Didn't you
there's
push a
10
guy
other
one
people doing it.
time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that
It's
you.
one of the best things Mick's ever done.
I'm never more pissed off than I am during a live shot, and it doesn't take much to just spark me, right?
Yep. Don't
mess with me.
If you mess with Mick, you'll get the horns. Okay. If you're gonna mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horns from Mick.
Any
in a
other
live
time
shot.
of day, approach me. I'm nice. Okay, I'll put up with anything.
I
Not
do
during
love
live
the
shots.
I do love that video. That was in Tampa, right? Not only was it in Tampa, they were supposed to be social distancing.
Yeah.
I mean, that person gave. I mean, that's not a social
There
distance.
were 50 people around. I mean, it's like you're at the Super Bowl, and then it's at night, and you turn on a light right next to the water where there's all these bars and restaurants, and the moths attracted to that.
That's a great call.
And one just decided to be a little ballsy, and he's a littler dude, so I shoved him.
Good.
Give a good shove. You should put him in the
Get
water.
out of here.
You should have just really just.
That was
Didn't you drop a get out of here?
Yes, and then like my brother made a T-shirt for it and all that. It was
God, I need that.
It was so funny because after that it kind of caught fire, and I had like Fox Sports and the Kansas City Star all like calling me for an interview on it, and I had like high school and college coaches critiquing my form, like pass blocking, because the Chiefs had no tackles at the time. They're like, I don't know if the Chiefs are in a bind. I really like his hand placement there. He's got a good base, my kid was playing high
The
school
punch
football
was good.
at the time, and so like his coaches were chiming in. It was like, now I see where Aiden gets it from. Right, a good punch.
That's great. You
Yeah,
could have done
great.
the was the hockey player and the golfer, that guy, and you yell pow, pow, pow.
Oh, yes.
The guy who enunciated his own punches on the guys
on the golf course. Yeah. Mick, you weren't ever an enforcer on the ice, though, right?
Never. I tried to, but I can't skate.
Yeah,
so,
it's
like
tough.
Happy Gilmore.
The footing was not. not
you
great.
come over here though, but you get my circle here. I'm on my knees because I can't get on my feet.
So if you're at Chicken and Pickle, don't do that. Don't be the person that I wouldn't
Come
do
on
that.
out and be a civil human being.
I wouldn't
It'll
do
be
that.
great.
I would. You know what? I would show up to have a meal and to say hi when you're at a break or something like that.
Last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, for the Chiefs' final preseason game is at home, and so we're out there on the corner of Arrowhead. Pre-game, it's fine. Nobody's drunk.
Yeah.
Not enough people are drunk. After the game, everybody's drunk, and so it's nonstop. People will breach our, our fences.
You guys got some like hedges there at the
Yeah, it
stadium
doesn't
too.
matter.
That's supposed to stop
they'll
some
run
people.
right through them, and jump over the rocks. We
Yeah.
have trash cans. We need security out there. But most of the time, everybody just yells, and I tune it out. I can hear. I have my headphones on, but I pretend that I can't.
Yeah.
And so people will just yell, hey, Mick, Caitlin, hey. So there's this guy, and Caitlin's so nice. She
Yeah.
wants to turn. And so I told her, like, just keep your head down. Keep your head on. Sure enough, like, hey, you guys, hey. I'm like, keep your head down. Be strong here. You're just, and I'm pretending like, sure, my phone. Hey. And then finally she turns. It's her husband. And Kevin Holmes, who were there at the game. They're both Bears fans. And so I was like, okay, you can look at your relation. I'll let you look at your husband and your coworker over there.
And her husband's like, you see what I deal with?
Yes.
Like this is
Yes,
every day.
she
I'm
doesn't
trying to
pay
get the
attention.
attention. And it's all about Mick. She's just paying attention to Mick
right.
Schaefer.
It
Mick
is-
Schaefer. Mick Schaefer.
always makes me laugh when you're doing something that's clearly live and you're talking and someone comes up and is like, are you live right now?
my gosh.
Or you'll be doing radio and you're clearly having a conversation.
Your
Someone-
headphones on,
and they're like
you're in a
tap you.
microphone.
Hey, are you live right now?
Oh my gosh.
And you're like,
It's so funny.
Where's the bath? Is the bathroom
Is the
over
bathroom
here?
over here?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
sir, I don't know where the bathroom's. The Bonniker.
It's a
Doniker.
El Baño.
It's a tried and true axiom in TV. When you want people to be on the news, they don't want to. When you don't want them on, they want to be on. Like when you go out and do a man on the street of like some political thing that happened or some issue in town, nobody wants to talk, right? You turn a light on, right, and you're right there. You're just doing your thing in front of the camera. That's when all the jackasses want to jump in.
I remember. So Northwest Missouri State was playing in a national championship game, and I can't remember which bar we were at.
Hopefully it's in the future here in a few months.
No. It was like in the 2006, 7, 8 or something like that. And it was a Northwest watch party, and you showed up to do like, a man on the street.
Really?
Yeah, you
Me?
were there. And you were trying to get people like who wants to talk, and there was a girl there that was like, I want to talk. Heck yeah. And I'm like, hey, she is pretty social. And then she got in front of the camera and she just clammed up. I wouldn't say anything, and Mick was like, hey, good call on that suggestion with having her on there. I'm like, what
God,
happened?
how
He's
do
like,
I not
she said
remember
nothing. Nothing. She wouldn't.
my
It was
gosh.
one-word answers, and it's like, we're not even going to use it, but I appreciate the heads up. I'm like, she typically is pretty social, and she was all about it. She was pumped to do it. Yes. So we do the thing in the football, and we're a party and a champion thingy and the drinking. It's in the today.
I was on that one time for a minute on the street in Philly.
Yeah.
It was about when Roy Halladay passed away.
Oh, wow.
And somehow they went up to me. I was walking out of a mall. I was getting my mom a Mother's Day gift. And they just stopped me and was like, what are your thoughts on Roy Halladay? And I was like,
did you not know? You didn't.
I knew he passed. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like that day too. I'm like, lucky I followed it, or else
What were your thoughts?
I was sad.
Yeah, you were against it. Yeah.
I was anti. Yeah.
Passing away.
Yeah.
Great picture.
for
But
it.
yeah, so I feel like if you wanted to do a man on the street, you could have me do it, and it would different wig
I plant
each
my
day.
friends every time. I haven't had to do one forever, but like I remember one time at the 8-10 zone, it was during the NCAA tournament, and they're like, go get a man on the street and talk to all these fans. And so I called up like 8 to 10 buddies. Says, hey, come out, come eat there.
Yes.
And then my brother was one of them, and so that was the only people I talked to, people I knew. Of course, my brother ruined it. I can remember his soundbite. He's like, listen, when I fill up my bracket, okay, a lot of people go by like the best teams, the records, whatever. No, I go by lowest GPA. Whichever team has the lowest team GPA, that's who I pick winning that matchup, and all the way to the end. Duke messes me up sometimes, but for the most part, it's a pretty good system.
That's great. I remember there was a viral clip of in Utah. They were doing a man on the street when the Jazz were in preseason, and a random person walking down the street, they asked about what they thought about the Utah Jazz. It was Jordan Clarkson. And
awesome.
No clue that it was actually Jordan Clarkson. And he just
Wow.
asked like he was just some regular person just talking to him. And it went viral. And they're like, who would have thought that it would have been Jordan Clarkson just walking down the
He's
street?
very
right?
recognizable, too.
Well, if you're in Utah, it's sort of the main thing. It's like it's the basketball players. But if you've got news and it's like, hey, go get a quick, man on the street with the.
And really, if you get Jordan Clarkson, you don't need anybody else.
No.
He can be your tire and man on the street. He can be the entire 2-minute story.
It's 100%, yes.
Yeah.
Sixth man on the street.
That's what they say. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue rolling. At 1 o'clock, we're going to go through and predict the Chiefs' week's worth of games and schedules. We'll do that. We'll talk Mizzou and KU. The Royals are only 2 games out with a 3-game set against the Minnesota Twins that just got swept by the White Sox. So it's all happening in September right now. High school football, both sides rolling starting tonight and a little bit last night, too.
A little bit last night. Mill Valley fighting Jaguars.
That's right.
Win, yeah.
Smart to move those games to Thursday night when you got a Friday night Chiefs game.
That's not why they moved it.
That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
More is up next. Yeah, that's right. It's game on all over the place. College football, high school, but the NFL game 1 last night, game number 2 tonight, week 1 going on. Every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And this isn't just football. It's first touchdown fireworks, anytime touchdown rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. And at DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. Last night, couple of live bets. Saquon Barkley at halftime. The receptions, he had 2 at half, and I think the over-under was 2.5 for the game. He ended up getting one more. Jahan Dotson had like 50 yards receiving, and his over-under was like 51.5. He went over on that one. Live betting, it's a fun way to do something. Love doing it with the Chiefs as well, because you get a good feel of what the game plan's going to be if you watch all the games, like certainly this city does. And new customers, you know what? This one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Hanging out with Mick Schaefer. He is presented by Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. What a great weekend you can go there and hang out, watch the games, and enjoy some bowling and some arcade and some food. If the family is more into the arcades and stuff and maybe some ice skating and you're more into watching the games, boy, best of both worlds. Go there and enjoy the game while they
have
just
ice
get
skating?
out of your hair. Oh, yeah.
That big old hockey rink there.
Well, I knew that. Can you do like free
That's
skate?
what you do on a hockey rink.
Well, I didn't know they have free skate.
I bet so.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I know
one-
they have. Yeah, I think KU Missouri, their club teams
Yes.
played the hockey.
Yeah, I knew they
match
played there.
yeah.
I like ice skating.
Yeah, my
Pretty
daughter's
fun.
good friend had her birthday party a few weeks ago there at ice skating at
That's awesome.
Advent Health Sports Park. And then it's a pretty cool place to have a birthday party if you like the ice skating. So
I
they
had
did that.
I had my 31st birthday party there.
I was meeting for a kid, but that's fine. You could certainly do that too.
He's a ring bearer. He's a kid.
That's a good
Come
point.
on.
Yes, he's a kid at heart.
Why do we have to grow up?
But
that's
then
the problem.
But what's cool though, then after that, each kid got a card that was charged with points to go and play in the arcade. So you got to ice skate, then you got to go play in the arcade. It was awesome, man. It was
It's
really
a
cool.
great place for your kids to have games, so you don't resent them for missing stuff. Like you can
Yeah,
still
right.
watch the games going on.
100%. That's true. Basketball games, volleyball games should be played a lot there because then while your kids playing their games that don't matter, that they won't remember in life, you get to watch things that you really want to remember in life, which are the football and basketball games and baseball games that you care more about.
They have good drinks, good food. The quesadilla is very solid.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy Darts is a blast. I'm not kidding. I spent my 31st birthday party there. I rode the little
zip line.
The zip line too. The zip line's fun.
Yeah.
Were you pushing like little 9-year-old kids out of the way to get in front?
They were 10, but yeah.
I thought it was odd because typically it's you must be this tall to ride the ride. They also have a you can't be this tall.
Well,
and
he's not
Sterling
that tall. He's fine.
He just
I'm 5'10", and it's
solid 5'10".
Just walked on his knees.
Probably
He got
6
there.
foot, and it's probably the cutoff. I'm fine.
6 foot.
I don't know, maybe.
What
I'm
are you
5'10".
wearing lifts? Okay, thank you.
No, I said I'm 5'10".
Oh, so you're saying 6 foot was the cutoff?
Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's 7 foot. I don't know.
I doubt it. I don't think 7-footers are allowed on there, though.
If that's the cutoff, I don't think you need to have the sign.
I think you're good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Mick Schaefer hanging out with this final hour of the week. He is presented by Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. We have so much going on around the area today with Chiefs playing tonight.
Question.
Yes.
You have a red ring now? Is that just for today, or is that
I have
a new thing?
I have like 8 different colors.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
And they're all like the rubber rings or whatever?
Yeah. The one that I got originally, it doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit anymore, so I got a little arthritis there in the ring finger. So the ring doesn't go on and up, and I hate wearing the ring in the shower.
You match outfits with your rings.
Sometimes I do, yeah. When Low Man's playing baseball, I'll wear the black one. Typically, it's the light gray that I go with in general. But, it's Red Friday, so I figured I'll wear the red one today. You know what I mean? It was either that one or Lightning Bolt, and I felt like that was odd.
Well, it's subtle with your red, just like Sterling's very subtle with his red.
We're logoed up. Sterling's logoed with the Chiefs.
Don't
We're
let
logoed with
Klingscale see you. You're like quadruple logoed or more, like quintuple.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
You're
one
a
outfit.
sextuple.
No, it's only the one outfit. It's just a tracksuit. It's a tracksuit, Joel.
What is that, sir? It's a tracksuit.
It's a tracksuit, Joel. Mick.
And the shoes are the Allen Iverson Reeboks. They're just red, though.
Mick Schaefer hanging out with us. But tons of stuff. We got Chiefs tonight. We got the pregame starting at 5 o'clock right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Red and Gold postgame show with Jack Johnson. Royals starting their 3-game set against the Minnesota Twins tonight at 6:40. Mizzou and KU tomorrow at 2:30. Getting the rivalry back underway since 2011. The last time they played on campus was 2006, right? Because the first Arrowhead game,
5 were at Arrowhead.
7, 8, 9, and then
10, 11.
10, 11.
Yeah, because I say the first Arrowhead game was
Last
Armageddon.
campus game was 06.
You know what's
06 in
you know
Columbia.
What's kind of fun? I went to the first of the Mizzou KU games that I at least remember.
At Arrowhead?
No, actually in Lawrence was I found the.
You went to the first one in Lawrence ever?
2005.
1891.
Wow, no, that was in
Look
Columbia.
at this.
1892.
I have the old. Still have the rally towel. They handed out there. And
Don't forget your towel.
It said 05. I remember that game. Brad Smith did not play very well. Mizzou lost 13-3.
Who was the quarterback for KU then? Was it Adam Barman?
I couldn't tell you.
Great question. I have no idea. No clue.
I was from Brad Smith.
Yeah.
From Mizzou. I mean, I was 05. I was 11.
5 years old.
Pinkel got the quarterback right for about 15 years in a row. It seems like he always got the quarterback right.
Starting with Brad Smith.
An
immediate transfer to Chase Daniel.
Blaine Gabbert
to James Franklin.
But you also had
Matty Mock, not so much.
Well, Matty Mock, though, was good. It wasn't like he was a bad quarterback. He could identify talent because Matty Mock was a good quarterback.
He got it. I mean, that's a span is almost like the Steelers coaches. We named 4 quarterbacks there that spanned about 12, 14 years, right? Because I think was Smith not a 4-year starter? He was at least 3.
Yeah, I think he was 4.
And then Chase was at least 3.
Well,
and then Gabbert was 2 or 3.
Gabbert was 3.
Franklin for a couple. I mean, so it's not like you're turning somebody over every year.
Every one of the after Brad Smith, every one of those other 3 played for a conference championship, right? Yeah. Chase Daniel definitely did. James Franklin definitely did.
Right.
Gabbert did too, right? Gabbert played in a Big 12 championship game.
I don't believe so.
Because he was 2011, 2010, and those.
I thought he was 9, 10, 11. Gabbert. Or
so
was
he
just
would have been 9?
Because Daniel was 7 and 8.
Blaine Gabbert was 8, 9, 10. But he didn't play.
Gabbert didn't play in 08. That was still Chase Daniel.
He played 5 games. He had 13 attempts.
Gabbert played in 11, I know.
Yeah, 9 and 10. He did not. Gabbert did not play in 11.
Yeah, but
who was the quarterback?
Franklin, right? Was Franklin 11, 12, 13?
Because, he went pro after his junior year. Gabbert only really played 2 years.
He played 2 years but they didn't play in a conference championship in those 2 years that he played in 9 or 10.
Man, I got to look it up.
I forgot, to be honest with you. But that was what was great about the transition from quarterbacks, as you were talking about, Mick. Brad Smith's senior year, Chase Daniel's freshman year. Chase Daniel's senior year, Blaine Gabbert's freshman year. And then Blaine Gabbert to, I think James Franklin was already on campus when Gabbert was a junior, right? Because it was expected that Gabbert was going to go after his junior year. He wasn't going to be a 4-year player like the previous.
Yeah, Gabbert came in 10. Gabbert was there. Franklin was there in 10. He was a freshman in 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
he took over in 11. Started 13 games. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 12 and 13.
Yeah.
You got the conference championships.
And he was good
for James Franklin.
13.
But what's interesting is I heard Steven this morning. He was talking to Gary Pinkel, and he was talking about Bo Pribula and saying
Pribula.
Yeah, Pribula. Sorry, I have been so good at saying Pribula the last 3 weeks, and now it's all lost.
That's my Isbell. I sometimes add Isabel every once in a while.
Isabel all the time.
Not all the time, but I know it's Isabel. And the one time I mess up, I just get blasted by folk, and I'm like, I know,
folk.
I get blasted by folk.
All my kin just reach out to me, and they're all like, it's all down.
And by the way, Trim McDuffie said St. Joe's, so if I ever say St. Joe's and slip up and add an S, sorry, you're getting mad at Trim McDuffie, not me.
Well, Mick, tomorrow the game's being played in Comos.
Oh, is it Comos?
Right, Sterling Comos. Is that fine with you?
Missouri.
Comos?
No, it's not fine. But there's at least
Joe's?
an S in St. Joe's, like St. Joseph. There's an S in there.
But
St. Joseph.
But those are two different words. You're taking the first letter of the second word and putting it on the end of the first word. Yeah, that's not how
Semantics. It works. I actually pronounce it St. J-O apostrophe S. Say J-O-S.
I get it.
St. Joe's. I don't add the E. The E's.
Well, you're
no
a Philly
longer
guy,
there.
so that makes sense. But Stephen was talking with Gary Pinkel, and he was discussing Bo Pribula, and said, he reminds me a little bit of James Franklin, and I heard that, but I was already thinking what he reminds me of, Bo Pribula, is not James Franklin, because I think James Franklin was a little more stoic in the pocket and ran when he needed to. I think Pribula, sort of the moxie and kind of he reminds me of Matty Mock. Pribula does. I'm not saying that that's the same Matty Mock's career.
A, I don't remember Matty Mock. B, I've seen one game against an FCS team for Pribula.
I'm just saying like how he is in the pocket and sort of like his kind of James Franklin was so laid back and reserved. So maybe that's coloring my view of Bo Pribula is kind of in your face, flexing, willing to be physical runner, and Matty Mock was kind of like lived his life on and off the field as kind of like a bleep you, towards he wanted to be like that Johnny Football type player. It didn't work out there at Mizzou or EKU or wherever else he ended up. I'm not sure, but he was a guy that was that.
I don't think he played again
after EKU. Or,
did he go there? Because it looks like I'm looking at Matty Mock, and I think he just played at Mizzou.
No, he transferred to EKU.
Okay, he says EKU now. I don't know when I looked up his stats. It only showed Mizzou stats.
Yeah, no, I don't know how much he played at EKU, but he definitely transferred there. I think
he played 2 games at EKU.
2 games through 39 passes, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. But I was just thinking about that this morning when it was like, man, I don't know what I feel like. James Franklin was so crazy because it was like he would sit in the pocket and not move. Yeah. He would just be looking around and like, you don't. This is the SEC defensive rush. You don't feel like you're about to get your head taken off. Like, dude, you have some stones, man. Still one of the most underrated quarterbacks.
Agreed.
With Mizzou.
You're right. That 2014 season by Matty Mock is, I think, what you would hope for Bo Pribula. 11-3 that year. Missouri went 25 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, added 373 yards rushing. I think that's a good player to try and emulate.
Completion percentage, you want to be better than
53% was he was a gunslinger. It was he didn't check down a whole bunch.
Yeah, so you hope you're better with Pribula, but this is I love the matchup because you've got one guy who has been established as one of the better playmaking quarterbacks, certainly in the Big 12, and when he's healthy and playing at a high level in the country in Jalen Daniels, and you've got a guy that's been trying to prove that he was worth the recruiting ranking coming out that he never got a chance because he was playing behind a guy who's going to be a top 10 pick in the 2026 NFL draft that was so coveted he got 7 figures to go and play quarterback, and he's got 1 game under his belt where he's not a package player coming in spurts at Penn State, that he's the guy. And it was against Central Arkansas, FCS opponent, and he looked the part, but you've got so much more evidence behind Jalen Daniels and what he can do than Bo Pribula, but you've got recruiting classes and transfers stacked over the last few years with Missouri's roster and KU's roster, and it's being played in Columbia. If this one was in Lawrence, I think it might be a little bit closer, although the part about this rivalry has been, a number of upsets or the underdog covering in a lot of these games.
It's almost even.
Yeah.
Depending on which side you believe, right?
Yeah.
One has has it Mizzou 57, 54, and 9.
Missouri has it that side because that's the real
Mizzou,
one.
Right, and then KU has it 56, 55,
I think
and
it's
9.
56 and 55, but
It is 56, 55.
Yeah, 56, 55, and 57, 54.
Yes. The Missouri one's the correct one because that's the one that's actually
Yeah, you're right.
recognized.
KU
because
has it as Missouri in favor of 56, 55.
KU had to forfeit a game afterwards because of an ineligible player.
It was at the end of the season, too.
Doesn't matter.
That's a 3-game swing.
That's fact,
They
though.
retroactively went back and did that. You lost the game, whatever.
Sounds like he's on Team 56.
I'm more on team I don't care because Missouri's still leading
What
the
year was
series.
that? Was that late 60s? I want to say
61 or 69.
It was the one. I think it was 60. Whatever. It was the year that
60
it was the year that there was no like national
wanna say
championship,
69.
no national champion.
Well, Missouri was undefeated.
Yes,
and
Missouri
number
should claim it. It blows my mind that Missouri.
Wait, there wasn't a national champion?
I don't.
There was a national champion.
There was a national champion.
I'll pull it up really quickly. It was a weird one. Like 4 different teams claim that they're the national champion of that year, and somehow Missouri never claims it. And it's like
because they
who
lost
was
the game.
what
Missouri was number one in the
AP?
nation.
Yeah, and they lost the game.
No,
Yes, they did. That's the
because they
stat-
cheated.
Well, they didn't cheat. They just played with the player that was deemed ineligible after the season.
Missouri beat Navy, which would be an unbeaten season. One lost. Minnesota was still named the AP's national champion. They lost in the Rose Bowl. Like
who did Minnesota?
Yeah, that what year? 60. Yeah, 1960. That's like the most contested year for who's the actual national champion.
By the way,
and Missouri never claims it. I'm like,
I have no problem.
even with the loss, you should claim it.
I have no problem with Missouri
You can't
claiming
just
that
claim
national
it.
That's what
UCF.
happened in 1960. 1960.
Who was the
like
coaches?
4 teams claim it.
Who's the coaches? Who's the AP? Those are the 2 champions. Who are they?
I don't know.
Well, one's Minnesota. Who was the other one?
1960s college.
The best one is the was it the coaches poll? The coaches association existed forever without naming a champion. So for like 15, 20 years. And so they went back and they said, we're going to retroactively name champions from 1938 to 1952, right? And so they said, we agree with all the AP winners except for 1945. And they said, you know what? Oklahoma State should be the champion. So 60 years later, Oklahoma State got named champion of that year by the coaches poll.
So Minnesota was named the number 1 AP consensus team in America, but the final AP poll came out before the bowl games.
That seems like
Minnesota
a good idea.
subsequently lost in the Rose Bowl, and then the Football Writers Association of America's poll came out and named Ole Miss as the national champion. So both Minnesota and Ole Miss claimed national champions in 1960.
So 2 states that begin in MI.
Yep.
And neither one was Missouri. Sterling.
And they were recognized by the polling system as the national champion.
Who's
Missouri
the polling
was.
system?
The polling system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a mathematical system used to rank college football teams by Richard R. Polling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dick Poll.
No way. Wait, the guy's last name's Polling?
Yeah.
And the first name is Dick?
Wait, his last name's Polling, and it's a polling system?
Yeah.
And his first name
You're
is
just
Dick?
making this up.
I'm looking at it right now.
Dick
There's
Polling.
only one L.
Well, I mean,
It's the polling system.
Dick Polling.
so
This is
I'm
his
going
name.
to...
Yes. You can say it again, and the answer is yes.
So, I mean...
It's a major selector of national champions
I've
for the
got to
year.
give it to you, despite the fact this is the first time I've ever heard of this.
From 1935 to 1984, this was a major selector of national champions, the polling system by Dick Polling. Okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
I feel like you're getting trolled on that website maybe right now.
Missouri, 1960, right here, champion.
Hey, was Bobby
The
Bell
year
on
after
that Minnesota team
Syracuse.
maybe in 1960? Maybe.
Okay?
Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
So Missouri should claim
If
1960.
you want to be
is all
Scott
I'm
Frost
saying.
and UCF and just say, hey, we won it, and raise a banner,
We're
go
not,
ahead.
though.
Go ahead.
They are recognized by the polling system.
The
He's from
polling
Ohio,
system.
so that's why I had to say that.
Claiming
get it.
championships is for losers.
What'd he say?
This guy.
Claiming championships
The
is
KU
for
guy.
losers.
No, it's for winners
KU guy.
because they won. They were undefeated that year. They were
That's fun.
11-0. They
The KU
defeated
guy
number
claimed-
5
This is
Navy
like
in
when
the Orange
Kansas
Bowl.
I was going to say the
fans
KU guy
get
claimed the
on,
national championship.
They
the
lost to KU,
NCAA
though,
for
right?
not giving them the title in 2020 when
No,
COVID shortened
that's
the season.
different.
That's
You didn't play the bowl
stupid.
game. They played the bowl game. They won the Orange Bowl. They won the Orange Bowl over number 5 Navy.
But they lost to KU.
They didn't lose to KU
What was the
because
score of that game?
no one knows. Nobody
no one
knows.
I bet they have a
23-7 actually, but it doesn't matter because it was forfeited. They won. 1960, Missouri should claim. That's all I'm. How did the 8-2 Minnesota?
Well, I mean, I would
8-2 and lost in the bowl.
I just love.
I thought you said they lost one game, Minnesota.
Minnesota's 8-2 and lost in the bowl game. Erroneous. It's erroneous. Minnesota, it's erroneous.
I don't know. That's an asterisk next to that undefeated season if you're going to call it that. So
fine.
that's not my
1960.
champion. That's not my champion.
Yeah,
Claim it.
Not my king. So we got that going on.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. So that's a lot of fun. And Royals tonight, and Chiefs going on, and boy, it's jam packed. With
we got a lot. Hey, Sunday sound off. We're doing the 10th anniversary show.
10th anniversary.
Frank's coming on. Soren's coming on. We're gonna Blair on. All three were on the original one.
Amazing.
And we found the old video, and it is hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's awesome.
I cannot wait to watch that.
The
on
original Sunday
Do you
sound
want
off?
to know what the three topics were at that?
So that would have been 2015
in September.
Royals
5th.
playoff chase.
Yes, but what about it?
Let's see. At this point,
it's over.
No. It would have been. it would have been.
They're in the driver's seat at that point.
Yeah. It would have been
Alex Rios talk.
Who was what
Josh Willingham.
postseason star was really bad at that point?
Salvi or Kane?
Nope. Postseason star was really bad.
15
at that point. Like maybe a very new Royal at that point.
Johnny Cueto.
Johnny Cueto.
Johnny Cueto was horrible at that time.
I thought maybe it would have been can HDH go on without Greg Holland? At that time.
So you had
Holland
Johnny
had the,
Cueto.
UCL.
You had.
They were arguing over Cueto or I don't know if there was a misprint or whatever. They were arguing over who starts the ALCS. I'm like, I feel like we're nowhere near that. And there's a round before the ALCS.
No, you're at the ALCS. You're the number one seed.
Is this
you
1985? We're going right to the ALCS.
They're not going to lose the divisional series to the upstart Astros.
They had no chance.
It's not going to happen.
Astros had zero chance of winning that, obviously.
So and you know what? Who won that one?
Yeah, that's right.
Did the Astros
so you did
win
that.
They didn't.
So what's the other one?
You did Chiefs Detroit in London.
No, because this was September.
That was later.
Yeah, you're thinking of back in that was November.
It was right before they started the season.
Yeah, so this would be
Alex Smith.
Can the Chiefs?
Or it was basically what do
can
you
the Chiefs
worry about
win,
the most with the Chiefs?
Okay, I was going to say, can the Chiefs finally win a playoff game? Is this the year that the Chiefs win a playoff game with Alex Smith? Because they didn't win it in 13 and 14, right?
Who?
The Chiefs. When did they finally break the playoffs?
It was 15.
It was 15. Yeah.
Houston Texans.
So that would have been
16.
So that would have been the do the Chiefs finally break the
Soren
playoff
correctly,
drought?
but he's like, I like where this team's at. I like Alex. He criticized him like he needs to do this better and better. And it's funny they started off 1-5 that year, and then rattled off 11 straight wins.
Right.
Starting the day of the Royals winning the World Series, and then the third I think was about like. College football teams and kind of where they're going, and it was a young Drew Lock at the time.
Missouri was 11-3 the year before.
Soren brought up
bowl games.
I think everybody wants Drew Lock. I think he's the guy to take them over, and it was, yeah, that's right. He was the guy at that point. So.
Yeah, at least someone at the house. That's what it is.
Hey, there you go, Matty Mock. Then you had Drew Lock. I mean, think about that. There really was a great stretch of quarterbacks.
Yeah. All right, shall we go through the Chiefs on the other side?
Let's go.
Let's do that.
Oh, other side.
Well, I mean,
we were just yammering, weren't we?
Yeah, it was fun. Well, he wanted to get into claiming a national championship randomly on the first week of the NFL season, and
sorry, I care about history. 1960s history matters to me.
Really, that's the sweet spot for you. Right there.
Hey, have you not been around me? I'm an old guy. I'm an old man. That's
my thesis was on the 1960s. 1960s specifically. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we will go through the Chiefs.
Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double in 1962 with Wilt averaging 50 points and 25 rebounds a game.
Yeah, you can actually turn it. More zone next. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's go through the games here, what we think is going to happen for this season for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then in the last segment, we'll break down what we think will happen specifically in this game tonight and then the Mizzou and KU game tomorrow. So we start with the Chargers.
Why?
Because the NFL says so.
Let's start week 4 and wrap around.
Yeah, we'll do Sterling.
Evens first.
We'll just Sterling, just start in the fourth season.
Yeah, that's right.
Sterling actually just found out about the 2023 season for the Chiefs. He's going to go back to 2018 to watch the first year of Mahomes. He's excited about it.
I've only started in the 60s. I jump around.
You love that decade.
1960, you and Burt Cohn. All right, week 1, Chiefs-Chargers. Chiefs, road game. Road game in Sao Paulo against the Chargers, losing a home game. That's too bad.
Why? I get Chargers have the best amenities there, but why is it such a drop-off in hotel?
That's
and
why I
like
said
where they were. It's the 23 million people in that town. There's not a second pretty good soccer facility or a second 5-star hotel that's close by.
You played World Cup games there. In
yes,
the stadium.
Olympics.
In the Olympics, like, how do you not have another hotel that's closer?
Only one hotel.
Oh, man. I think the Chiefs
always
win tonight.
Booked, shockingly.
I think the Chiefs win tonight. Sterling, do you have this as a win or a loss?
Dub.
A W for you. Mick?
W and a cover if we're keeping track.
Okay, very good.
Michael? I as well have a win.
Win. All right. Week 2, Philadelphia. Sterling, we start with you.
Win.
Okay. Win, it's week 2. A week from Sunday. Sorry. That was dumb.
I have
Mick?
that as a win for the Eagles.
Okay. So that's
that as a loss.
Man, that's you son of a gun.
I
have that as 20-24. I've changed my W to an L for Nick Schaefer.
I'm sure Jalen Carter will be back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on that, but it's my guess.
Boy, I mean, well, yeah.
Once they saw the second spitter, it's like, all right, Dak kind of
spitter.
started this.
Yeah, it's a magic loogie.
Like
so there was
Han shot first at a Dak.
It was Roger McDowell the whole time, and behind the bushes. Well, you know they're not going to suspend Jalen Carter because they go out of their way to make sure the Eagles are taken care of in the NFL
all the time.
Yeah, and suspending him would help the Chiefs, but not suspending him helps the Eagles. He ain't going to be suspended.
I saw something, and I don't know how accurate it is, that since he
missed the whole game,
basically kicked out before yesterday's game, that counts as a 1-game suspension.
That's the. I hate that. I saw that too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's dumb.
Oh, so wait, okay, that encouraged you to act up early, I guess. What is that? I mean, he chose to do that then. I mean,
yeah. If you're going to spit on somebody, just spit on them before the game, so that's your 1-game suspension. That's just smart. Just give it the old Hawk Tua. Spit on Dak. Michael Darcy, what do you think? Eagles, Chiefs.
I've got the Chiefs getting their revenge and winning week 2.
Okay. All right. At New York, Sunday Night Football, Mick Schaefer.
Dub.
Michael.
Don't even have to play this game. They're winning it.
It's true. Please play it because it's on Sunday Night Football. It's a lot of ad revenue for us.
There we go.
I will be watching.
I got the dub for the Chiefs as well, Sterling.
Probably a game that's going to be very irritating, like a 2019 win for
100%,
KC.
like the last time they played the Giants here.
Yeah, I'll say win, but it's going to be ugly.
100%. That's what that game is going to be. Michael, we start with you. The Baltimore Ravens at home, week 4.
Oh, man. I've got them 3-0 to start the season. I'm going to give them the loss here.
Okay. I also have them losing to the Ravens in week 4. Sterling?
They lose by a toe.
Nah, get it back. They win this one because they're going to lose against the Eagles.
Okay.
So we got them all 3-1.
We all have them 3-1, just a matter of how you get there. Monday Night Football, week 5 in Jacksonville. I've got them winning that game. Sterling?
That's a win for Kansas City.
Mick?
Winning time.
Winning.
All right. Detroit Sunday Night Football the next week at home. Sterling?
I got to find losses somewhere, so I will find a loss here.
You'll find it. So you'll find a loss for the Chiefs. All right, Mick?
I got to find losses, but it's not going to be here. I got to win.
All right. Michael?
Got to win.
I've got to win as well. Raiders at home. No Monday or Sunday or Thursday, just a stupid noon game.
It is a Sunday.
I meant Sunday night. Okay. Just a stupid noon game.
God,
Those are so boring.
Games, man.
Mick?
They win over the Raiders at home.
Okay, Michael?
Raiders are going to be sneaky good, but they're not winning at Arrowhead.
All right. I've got them winning that game as well. Sterling? You finding losses with the Raiders too?
I will not find one here.
They'll slip up at home against the Raiders. It's happened.
They can happen. Yeah, absolutely. 2020.
They'll drive around too.
They will.
The parking lot.
That's 100%. Some smart aleck bus driver. All right, they go Monday Night Football against the Commanders at home. By the way, Week 7, Rashee Rice returns. So Commanders, Game 2 for Rashee Rice. Monday Night Football. Michael?
I think the Chiefs will take care of business, but it's going to be close.
All right. I've got them winning that game as well. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got them 7-1 at that point. Michael's got them 7-1. Sterling?
I think the Commanders take a slight step back this year. I think they do a little Texans aspect where they're a really good team on paper, but tougher schedule, little sophomore slump. I think the Chiefs win.
All right, 6-2 for you at that point before Buffalo. Mick?
I echo every word Sterling said there, like I do all the time. Everything Sterling says, I agree with.
7-1 for Mick as well. So 7-1 for Jason, Mick, and Michael. 6-2 for Sterling. They head to Buffalo before the bye. An interesting one here. We start with me. I've got them losing in Buffalo because that's typically what they do in the regular season. They lose the regular season game against the Bills. This one's in Buffalo. Sterling, what about you?
Yeah, same thing. They'll win in the playoffs against them, and they'll lose in the regular season. I'm fine with that. It's a fine trade-off. So it continues.
Everybody's talking about, they always lose to the Bills, and so what happened last year must happen this year. Yeah, they're going to lose the Bills.
Michael?
Same here. I think they're going to
lose. They definitely win that game, by the way, since we've all picked them to lose. Mark that one down right now as a guaranteed
7-2
dub. Yep. We have them 7-2, and Sterling has them at 6-3.
Wow, you hate the Chiefs more than ever.
Interesting how much you hate the Chiefs. That's odd. Man. Week 11, because Week 10, they are
not. They will not.
We're not going to. We're going to go no loss.
Bye week?
Nope. Some teams have done that in the past, but the Chiefs will not. Week 11 at Denver. Sterling.
I went back and forth on this one hard, but yeah.
Are you vacillating on this one?
I was vacillating hard on this one.
Yep.
The thing that goes for KC, it's off a bye. Yeah. Andy Reid off a bye. Give me the dub.
Denver win for the Chiefs. Mick Schaefer?
If it was Week 10 and the bye was Week 11, I would say loss, but it's the opposite. I'm going win as well for the Chiefs.
I'll give them a win because I had them losing to Buffalo, and I think that, coming off of the bye, we've talked about it, Andy Reid's just undefeated.
Mm-hmm. I went back and forth on this one, too. There are two games to this point that I've gone back and forth that I'm like, win, loss, win, loss. It was that Baltimore game I went back and forth on, and this game. And literally the only reason why I end up going W is because it's off a bye. Denver, though, plays Thursday night football in Week 10, so it's kind of a mini bye. So the Chiefs have the advantage of not playing in Week 10. Denver plays the Raiders in Week 10 Thursday night football. So it's as close as you're going to get to playing a team that didn't have a bye to having that rest. But I'm still going to side with the Chiefs because it's off a bye. But that's one that I would not be surprised if the Andy Reid off a bye and they lose that game. Indianapolis at home, one of those boring noon games again. Mick Schaefer, what do you think about the Colts and the Chiefs?
Colts game, it's going to be boring. The Chiefs will not play well, but they'll win.
Yeah, I mean, it's the AFC South and the Colts. The Chiefs, for whatever reason, cannot figure that team out. Michael?
I've got them losing this game. I feel like Indianapolis, even though they're probably going to go 8-9, they always play the Chiefs tough.
It's weird.
And I think the Chiefs are going to lose one of those mid-season games where you're like, why did they lose that football game?
So that's like your prototypical trap game. They go to Denver and win, and then right around the corner is Thanksgiving in Dallas, and all they got is this crummy Indianapolis Colts team at home, noon on Sunday. Pretty boring. And, yeah, they sleepwalk through that one and maybe lose. I think they'll win just based on it's the Colts. They should, but I don't think Michael's far off on that one, but I'll give him a W. Sterling.
They'll ride the horses into a win.
I see what you did there. The Colts will or the Chiefs?
Chiefs will.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah, they'll ride the horses.
I get it.
Into a win.
Thanksgiving Day, some 4 days after that Colts game. Michael, we start with you. Or no, Michael, we start with you. Dallas, Thanksgiving on the road.
Chiefs win, and a lot of points get scored.
Okay. I've got the Chiefs losing this game in Dallas, Thanksgiving. Just, I've got to find a loss somewhere, right? Anyway, Sterling, what do you got?
I'm not a turkey. Give me the Chiefs.
Mick?
I wanted to pick the Cowboys, but then I looked 4 days before that. The Cowboys are hosting the Eagles, so I think they're going to spend a lot of energy there. I give the edge to the Chiefs. W for Kansas City.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure. Houston Sunday Night Football at home, coming off the loss, I think, against the Cowboys. The Chiefs take care of business Sunday Night Football because at this point they have lost in my schedule season here. They've lost to Baltimore. They lost to Buffalo. They are going to have to let that rubber meet the road the final way so they can get that bye. They take care of Houston Sunday Night Football with a W, Sterling.
Everything's bigger in Texas, including the win for KC.
It's in Kansas City, though. Does that change?
Chiefs still win. That's no longer as fun. Dang it.
That's fine.
Shoot.
Mick?
Chiefs are on the Yellow Brick Road, right? That's the Kansas. Yeah. They'll beat the Texans.
You're not in Kansas anymore.
That's right.
You're in Missouri.
Well, they might be. Michael?
Chiefs win.
Chiefs win. All right. Chargers at home for the Chiefs after that Sunday Night Football game. The Chargers are on a short week. They played Monday Night Football at home against the Eagles before this one, whether that matters or changes your pick or not. Do we start with Sterling here? I don't remember. For Mick? Doesn't matter. Sterling, go ahead.
They forget their
Michael,
he was
go ahead.
last. No, he started the last one, so after that.
Oh, okay. So Sterling, you'll start.
They forget their Chargers. Their iPads are dead on the sideline. Chiefs win.
Okay, very good. Mick?
Oh, God, I hate that. They win. Sure. They're going to beat them in Brazil. We'll beat them at home.
Michael?
The Chiefs win.
I've got them winning as well. At Tennessee the next week, week 16. They've got 3 games remaining. Mick Schaefer, what say you?
I haven't picked an out-of-nowhere loss, and I still won't. So they're gonna beat the Titans.
All right. Michael Darcy.
The Titans are one of those teams that always play the Chiefs tough, and we've had some clunkers in Tennessee. I do not think that's going to happen this time. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I at this point planning on going to that game there, so they'd damn sure better take care of business. I'm going to give them a win or else. In this one. Sterling?
The only 10 I see is the amount of points the Titans are going to score. Chiefs win.
No, I'm kind of into this now.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. Yeah, I'm back on board now.
Did I sway you?
Yep, I'm back on board.
I don't know what to do with the next one.
All right, Christmas. Denver, Thursday Night Football, Week 17. This is Christmas Day. The Broncos on that Sunday played the Jags, where the Chiefs were in Tennessee. Yeah. We start with, I don't know, Mick this time.
Yeah,
sure.
starting with me. I don't like it on the road 4 days beforehand against the Broncos team. That'll still be playing for something. I think the Chiefs probably had the division wrapped up by that point. That's where the Chiefs will take a loss at home to the Broncos.
All right, Mick Schaefer's got them losing to the Broncos.
Ruin another Christmas.
I mean, just stop it with the Christmas losses.
I think Andy Reid's pretty upset with how last season ended, and I think that they're going to actually show up for this game, at home. Give me the Chiefs.
All right, you've got a win for the Chiefs. I've got to win for the Chiefs because, again, those losses that they've already suffered to Buffalo and Baltimore, this is one of those to where
it's
they
another
can't.
B team, though. Broncos.
Well, that was the city.
Oh, Denver.
Yeah. I've got it as a win. Sterling?
Denver really got me. Sorry, kiddies. The Grinch is in town, stealing wins for the Broncos, and you might no longer have any gifts. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Broncos might do it. They might pillage.
Okay.
Broncos win.
All right. Last one. Michael, we start with you. At Las Vegas, the Raiders, Week 18.
I'm going to say a loss because I don't think the Chiefs will be playing for anything in the final week of the season.
Okay. So if that's the case, by the way, I've got it as a win for the exact opposite reason because I've got them losing 3 games and losing to Baltimore and Buffalo. So with the tiebreaker, that would mean that Baltimore and Buffalo would have to already have 5 losses going into Week 18 for the Chiefs to rest their starters and 4 losses not matter. I don't think that'll be the case. So I think the Chiefs are going to have to play that game to get the bye. I think they do. I've got them winning that one. Sterling?
Raiders of the lost season because their season ends right there. Chiefs win.
Mick?
Lost arc, but I couldn't try and find a way.
Sure.
You know,
That's fine.
Yeah, it's better if you explain it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christmas loss. Very upset because they will have to now play their starters against the Raiders because there's only one seed that gets the bye. And, I have them lose the Bills and 3 losses already. Yeah, beat the Raiders.
All right.
14-3.
So I've got them 14-3. Sterling, you've got them 7-10.
13-4. Okay, 13-4.
Sounds like 7-10 to me.
Might as well be.
Mick Schaefer, you got them 14-3.
Championship.
And Darcy, you've got them 13-4 based on the fact that you think they've already got the bye week wrapped up at that point, which could certainly happen. Look, the AFC East is going to have to find some teams that play good football for Buffalo to have 5 losses by the time.
And truthfully, I forgot that I picked the Colts to beat us.
Want to change your pick? Nope,
No.
too late. I already wrote it down. It's in pen.
It's in pen.
I've only erased
Binding.
I've only erased one thing, and that was my own when I went down and initially gave the Chiefs the win at Baltimore, and then I immediately
I feel like he's not allowed to do that
against Baltimore, and then I
That
immediately changed
feels
it.
illegal.
No, I immediately changed it. I didn't do it after the fact. I immediately changed it and put an L. I'm like, you know what? That's one of those things where Baltimore's going to find a way to win it. Chiefs are going to be 3-0, and it's going to be like, oh no, what happened? It's Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, he's the greatest ever. There's nobody that's ever been as good as Lamar Jackson. Just wait till the playoffs come around and all the turnovers happen. Oh, it's so good. That's what I think the commentary is going to be, and it's going to sound just like that.
I've seen a lot of commentary this offseason. They're like, all right, who wins MVP? Well, it's going to be Lamar or Josh.
Or Joe. I mean,
who do you like out of the AFC, man? It's the Ravens or the Bills, man. I go back and forth. Really? You just go back and forth on 2 teams?
Yeah, I mean, who else would be there in the AFC Championship game if it's not those 2 teams?
Yeah, the Chiefs got blown out by a different team than those two, but
when's the last time they beat those teams
teams
in the playoffs, though? When's the last time they beat those teams? Not in AFC Championship games, though. Oh, boy, I'm not sure who it'll be. So the Chiefs will lose to Lamar and Josh Allen, which will then clearly mean that those 2 quarterbacks are head and shoulders clear better than Patrick Mahomes. That's right. So
it's a telltale story as old as time. Tick-tock, the Chiefs are the beating heart. They're going to beat the Ravens in the playoffs.
Okay. Well,
no, was that too much? Was that too convoluted there?
No, Mick, what we're going with is quote the Sterling, nevermore. All right, let's go through these games this weekend. Chargers and Chiefs. I have spent the last couple of days actually trying to find reasons to make this like a 3 or 4 point game. Talking with Matt Derrick earlier, the Chiefs had the advantage in a number of different areas. The Chargers have the advantage when they're running the football, and I think that's it. The wide receiving core is not as good because they don't have the Brady-Randy Moss matchup whenever they play the Chiefs in Herbert and Josh Palmer. For whatever reason, that was, the kryptonite to the Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo. I think you can put McDuffie on Ladd McConkey and take your chances with Keenan Allen and Trey Harris and Quentin Johnston after that, and whoever else is going to be at tight end. The offensive line is banged up and injured. Mekhi Becton is now questionable tonight with an illness popping up on the injury report today. Practiced all week. He was fine, and now today questionable with an illness. He drank the water. That was dumb. Was told not to do that.
Dave Matthews literally told you. He has a whole song about it. Don't drink the water.
Yeah, right. I think this is one where the Chiefs are going to come out and score. I think they have been waiting to unleash the fury, and I think they do that tonight. I think the running game works as well. I'm going 34-20 in this one. Again, I've been trying to find ways to bring this to a closer game, and I know all the pros are on. Most of the pros are on the Chargers to cover or win this one. If it's 3.5, I do wonder the difference between I'm on the Chargers at 3.5. Well, what if it's 3? Are you still on the Chargers at that point? Because it's 3 right now, but most places where you're seeing people pick, it's I'll take the Chargers plus 3.5. Well, it's 3 now, so what would you do then? Sterling, what do you got?
Then I wouldn't put anything down because I do think the 3.5 plays a massive factor. I think the Chiefs win 27-24. Very generic score, but it's one of those first games of the year I want to feel out and see what we have, so I'm going generic for a ungeneric game.
There you go. Mick Schaefer, what do you say?
Heard so much about Ladd McConkey this week. If that's the Chiefs' biggest fear, oh my God, give me a break.
He's such a great player. I don't understand that.
He's such a great player. I mean,
yes.
he's a good player. He's been in the league for 1 year.
Yeah, it was outstanding as a rookie.
1 year, yeah. Look at all the quarterbacks we always talk about who sucked their second year. Yeah, I mean, if he's the biggest worry, it's not a worry whatsoever. 27-20 Chiefs, come on. But they do continue be 18 straight wins in one-score games.
Oh, yeah.
And people will lose their
What's going to
minds.
be great, though, is if they're up by 14 and a late touchdown makes it a one-score game. Like, here we go, Chiefs again. Just what they do. Michael?
I've got the Chiefs winning 24-17 in a game where I think they get up early and kind of just coast off of that.
All right, very good. All right, Mizzou and KU, this one's 6.5 currently right now. They're in Columbia.
It's dropping a little bit. Was it at 7.5?
It was at 7.5 at one point, then 7, and now down to 6.5. So it's interesting where the money is coming in on. Sterling, what do you got? Let's go
32-24. Mizzou goes for 2 on the first touchdown they score.
Okay.
So 32-24.
I like that specific. I like points too.
Good. I do. I like points.
I like KU to cover but lose. Let's go 33-30.
33-30.
Mizzou.
Yep.
38-31 Mizzou, and I am going to be upset.
I'm going 34-24, and not because it's 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals. 5 touchdowns and a missed extra point, unfortunately. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It'd be better in my mind if it's 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals, because then Robbie Myers is knocking them through. But we'll find out. I'm going 34-24. This one, Mizzou in Columbia. We'll find out. Thank you, Mick. Appreciate
you guys.
Have fun
Anytime.
tonight at Chicken and Pickle.
Oh, I can't wait.
Everybody have fun tonight as well.
Everybody come to Chicken and Pickle.
Right here on Sports Radio 810. Pregame, postgame, lock. Program next.